Neil God.
Get me a ticket for an aeroplane. Got to get on the Wheel of Fortune game. I just got to win, spin the wheel again. Oh, Vanna, pick me a letter. Bankrupt? What do you mean bankrupt? I don't care how much money I got to spend. Can't stand to look at Pat say Jack again. Won't throw in the towel till I buy a vowel. Oh, Vanna, pick me a letter. Hey, man, what do you mean there's no effing phone? Vanna, pick me a letter. No one does it any better. I dream about you. Hey, Vanna, is that an all-over 10 or what? Vanna, I don't understand why you make $100 grand. Not for me to say. Oh. Anyway, get me a ticket for an aeroplane. Gonna be on the Wheel of Fortune game. I just got to win, spin the wheel again. Oh, Vanna, pick me a letter. Go, Vanna, go, baby, go, all right. Hey, get out of my face, Pat. Is that a toupee? Hey, is there an L in that word? Is it lowrider? All right, lowrider. Forget the letter, man. I'll take Vanna White. You're beautiful, baby. You and me could play the home game. Got me a ticket for an aeroplane. All right, I'm on the Wheel of Fortune game. I just love that sound. I'm in the bonus round. Hey, Vanna, pick me a letter. Lose a turn. Hey, Pat, lose this. Vanna, pick me a letter. No one does it any better. I dream about you. All right, that is an all-over 10. Vanna, I don't mean to stare, but are you wearing underwear? Not for me to say. Anyway, I don't care how much money I got to spend. Can't stand to look at Pat say Jack again. Won't throw in the towel till I buy a vowel. Oh, Vanna, pick me a letter. Please, Vanna, pick me a letter. All right, I'm ready to pick, baby. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. That's your covering, huh? All right, I'll take the sofa, the blender, the microwave, the refrigerator. Hey, man, what do you mean $500 for a black and white 5-inch portable TV set? You got ripped off, man. My brother-in-law can get it for you wholesale. Give me the money and I'll buy the TV set, man, all right? Hey, Vanna, come on, baby.
10:03 at 560 WQAM. The reason I played that, obviously, because we're mourning the passing. Let me say it again for the 8 billionth time, just in case you missed it the first 7 billion times.
The media is sick and needs help badly.
Oh, my God. Somebody that, we once knew who it was died, and right away we have to eulogize. We have to, make a big simus about it. Merv Griffin is dead, to which I say...
All right. Yeah, whatever. I say whatever.
Yeah, she's dead, Merv Griffin.
Gay.
Oh, don't say that. Not after somebody dies, you doesn't say that. And Larry's on there eulogizing and emoting, and we got Jerry Seinfeld on, and we got your buddy Alex Trebek on there, the geek, and the Vanna, and all these other... Oh, my God. You would have thought that this guy had some talent, Merv.
He had some money, so...
He had tons of money, and the main reason he had tons of money was because of Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. I'll give him that. He invented both of those shows. I'll give him that. Would you give him that?
Well, yeah, I'll give it to him. Here you go.
So you're sitting on the floor because the beast broke the chair?
Yeah, that's what happened.
We have a series of bad chair events. At WIOD and WQAM over the years, we've had some bad chair events. First was the goddess.
Howard!
She stained the chair at IOD.
She spoiled the chair.
She spoiled it, and she soiled it, and she ruined it, and she pruned it. She's a silly person. Anyway, that chair was a history. And then we came to QAM, and boy, we had a series of really bad people destroying chairs. Josh Friedman busted one chair. He busted
It wasn't
up.
so much that he broke them as that he stank them out.
Randy skanked them out, and he stank them out. Wasn't good. And now, of course, the most recent, the Beast filling in. I get a call, not a call, but I have like a text message. 7:30 Friday morning, my thing buzzes, my BlackBerry buzzes, and I look over it. Oh, George pulled his hamstring or tore his hamstring yesterday skating. See, this is what happens when guys like you try to be.
What try? I didn't make fun of you when you fell walking down the street, Mr. World Traveler.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing anything weird or fancy.
Cobblestone Street, man. I'll tell you, when you go to Amsterdam...
What do you know about roller skating?
I'll show you the spot right there by the
Trust me,
church.
you take a bigger risk walking to the bathroom than I do roller skating.
I never fell and tore my hamstring going to the bathroom, not yet.
No,
Although being the klutz that I am...
Fell walking down the street, you shouldn't be doing that.
I shouldn't be doing what?
Walking down the street. You should just stay immobile in bed forever.
I see. So anyway, the latest chair episode is that the Beast did come in on Friday and butcher up the show. Although, now, Chris can tell me, were you working on Friday?
Yeah, of course.
We didn't have any sports writers on the show, did we?
Oh, of course not.
Oh! Like I said, great job, Beast.
And when people did try to call to ask him a sports question, he hung up on them.
Did he really?
Yep.
There were people calling in with sports questions?
No, you know how it is. You hear the Beast's voice and you assume it's a sports show.
Why?
Makes no sense to me. You assume 10 to 2 on this station is a sports show. And by the way, Ethan Skolnik, thank you so much for that brilliant column you wrote on your blog on the Sun Sentinel. Here, I got it in my pile here somewhere. Many days ago. In which he didn't really say anything. Oh, well, there's all kinds of changes in the lineups at the 2 sports stations. Ho, 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 and I'm always on one of them. Ho, 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 and... Seriously, the thing with the sports writers, this is the most evil thing in the history of this business that has ever been foisted on anyone. And the fact that the management, as such as they are sitting back and allowing this to go on as the numbers continue taking a tumble, I don't understand it. I don't get it. What is it? Ethan Skolnik, what kind of naked pictures does he have? Alex Marvez, he must have like triple copies of all those naked pictures. Every time you turn around, here are the newspaper mafia have taken over QAM. And I was really amused by all the... And guess who wrote the last comment to the blog that Ethan Skolnik wrote about the lineups of the 2 sports stations? Guess who wrote the last column? I'll give you several clues, George.
Ethan Skolnik.
No, the last comment.
Josh Darrow.
Bald, New York, Don Imus.
Sid the Kid.
Yeah, Sid the
you.
Kid. He writes, he feels compelled to write a comment. He's so ecstatic, and of course most of the comments ripping him an ass, like go back to New York and we hope you die and you're obnoxious and even the worst New Yorkers can't stand you, stuff like that, you know. I mean, there was nothing positive about me or this show, but then it was all sports nerds writing in, so what do I care? Plus all that stuff on the internet, all those blogs and all those comments posted, it's all crap. We already went through that experience. Why does anybody want to do that? Why does anybody want to subject itself to that? Probably for the same reason that we put all these sports nerds on here, these sports writers. It's like an epidemic. It's like the bubonic plague of the Sun Sentinel and the Herald have invaded QAM. And these people, instead of trying to cure the disease, they keep making it worse. Every show, except this one, every show is invaded, infested by these people. And if they were broadcasters, they'd have shows. They'd be on the air. They'd have their own show. Ethan Skolnik sounds like Gildy on helium, for Christ's sakes. Jesus God. Anyway, don't let me get too upset about that.
Okay, don't.
Now that Merv Griffin is dead. Oh, woe is us. What are we going to do? Merv Griffin died. She's dead. Hundreds of anti-war activists gathered near Dick Cheney's home at an exclusive Wyoming country club to protest the vice president's role in leading the U.S. into Iraq, chanting, "No more Iraq war," and "Impeach Cheney first." Protesters gathered outside the Teton Pines Country Club, where Cheney typically spends the month-long August recess. They brought along a 10-foot-tall papier-mâché sculpture that featured Cheney holding a fishing pole in one hand and an oil well in the other. In a video posted on YouTube, a protester climbs the effigy and places a noose around its neck. Oh, I like it. Protesters, and he was also on there last night, Ed McMahon, kissing Merv's dead ass. Protesters then pulled down the Cheney likeness in a scene reminiscent of Iraqis and U.S. troops toppling the statue of Saddam after the fall of Baghdad in that photo op for CNN. We organized it because of the war in Iraq and what an injustice it's been, Walt Farmer, a retired Air Force captain, registered Republican, told the Casper Star-Tribune. The vice president has received a pass in Jackson long enough. We want to let them know we don't approve of the war or how they play fast and loose with the Constitution. They're playing with it, fast and loose. Protesters carried signs that said Bush, Cheney, war profiteers, feel safe yet, violence breeds violence, and at least the war on the middle class is going well, the Tribune said. One of the protesters, Cindy Knight, said she's got a son in the military and came to voice displeasure with the administration's war policy. Knight's son has served in Afghanistan. I don't want him to lose his life in the Iraq war, she told the Tribune. I don't want him to come back in a body, in a sack. My son in a sack. So how do you like that? And Karl Rove, he's stepped aside. Lots of crap going on. Why would anybody want to hear about that when we got give me the ball, give me the ball? We got the Dolphins, baby, who pulled out a last-minute win against Jacksonville in a pathetic showing on Saturday. Now, were you there, Chris?
No.
Why not?
Because...
I thought you were a big fan.
Oh, I am, but when it's a nothing game...
Exhibition game.
Yeah, exactly.
Trent Green, I guess, played like a 90-year-old old Getchke.
Yeah, exactly. I was supposed to actually work the pregame, but they couldn't get another press pass, so they said, sorry, we don't need you.
They couldn't get another press pass? Did it ever dawn on you that they lied to you and that because of the fact that you work on this show, they were going to stick it to you right in the old shoot? Don't you get the message?
Well, they came to me asking me if I could work the pregame, and they're like, I know it's your only day off. It's Saturday, blah, blah, blah. Could you do it? We're shorthanded. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. Yeah. And then the Friday before the game, they're like, oh, you don't have to go.
Did you tell them that if they put any more of these sports writers on the air, you're going to start killing some people in that building? Did you tell them that? Because you got my permission to do it. Here's the poll from yesterday. It's a rhetorical question. You don't have to answer.
I know. You're going to go to
534 measly votes yesterday, George. That's pretty weak, although they,
Yeah.
What?
It was on there for 6 hours. Why do you keep saying that? Like
yesterday, 3:30 in the afternoon.
I know, so it's been on there
in
for
your own
long?
personal experience, which of these is the most addictive, George asked. 534 votes. Cigarettes, 89. Booze, 76. Sex, 75. Pornography, 56. Sugar, 44. That's what I voted. I mean, it's no contest. Coffee, 42. The Neil Rogers Show, 35. Crack cocaine, 22. Video games, 22. Powdered cocaine, 21. Take a powder. Take a BC powder. If you're a redneck from the South, take a BC powder. Maybe that's how those people got to be like they are. Too much BC powder. All them rednecks. Money 9, pot 9, heroin 9. Looks to me like the popular vote was
9.
Meth 7, watching sports 5, playing sports 4, my BlackBerry 4, chat rooms 3, and adrenaline thrill-seeking solamente 2. Thrill-seeking. That's what we're doing here on QAM. Thrill-seeking.
Are we?
Let's take a look at this. I beg your pardon?
Is that what we're doing?
Well, we were when we came here 9.5 years ago.
You know who I am? I'm Mo Green. I made my bones when you were going out with cheerleaders.
Rectum.
Well, we can't play fart sounds anymore, so we might as well let out a good, substantial reps, as they say in China. 10:18 at 560 WQAM. Let's take a look at that schedule and see if we have any sports writers taking over the station today. Doesn't look like it. We got Mad Dog at 2, all by his... Now, is he putting the sports writers on too, Chris, or is it... don't we know?
I think he's been doing a segment where he has, like, football-related guests on, so... But he's not... I don't think it's usually local sports writers.
Oh, thanks God.
It might be out-of-town sports writers, but not local.
Now, this can't be right. Isn't today Tuesday, August 14?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I see. That's why Bo Camper wasn't on this morning, I guess. Power Hour with Mad Dog and Bo Camper between 4 and 5, who's going to talk about toilet seats. Bo and Orlando at Dolphin Camp between 5 and 6:30. So I'm assuming the Humper's on vacation this week. Is that correct? No Humper.
Sure.
No Humper this week. Marlins on deck at 6:30. The Marlins, oh my God, it's the middle of August and they're still playing. I can't believe it. 6:30, it's the pregame show. The Marlins and Arizona at 7:05 tonight. The Hunchbacks and then overnight with Eddie K after the baseball game. How come we have baseball still on when we got the preseason, the exhibitionist games going on, huh? Who cares about baseball anymore? Am I right?
What?
Here's the poll for today. How many votes we got? We're going to make 1,000 today. Chris, what do you say? We got 683. We got almost 700, baby.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Baby. As Dick Vitale would say, baby. He's another one needs to be taken out for a long walk. Who's your favorite Jewish comedian of all time? This is another one of Charlie B's poll. And by the way, Charlie B, I don't care if Merv Griffin's theme song is on his website. I don't give a crap about Merv Griffin. He was a closet queen, no-talent piece of turd who made millions and zillions and billions of dollars, and he made me sick.
Did you like him?
No.
No.
Hated him. Rodney Dangerfield is kicking ass, baby. Your favorite Jewish comedian of all time, 131. There's only 1,000 names on the poll, so by the time we get done here, Mad Dog, stand by, because by the time I have to get through reading the poll, it'll be 2 o'clock. Should I read them all? I'll read them all a few times.
Yeah, do it.
100 times. Well, why not? What's the point of taking a poll if you're not going to read all the names?
Right.
Mel Brooks, 87. Jerry Seinfeld is third with 46. That makes me want to vomit. He makes me want to vomit. In fact, compared to Jerry Seinfeld, I love Merv Griffin. I miss him already. Groucho Marx, 41. Now, why does it say of the Marx Brothers in parentheses? Then that had to be a...
You know, for the people that don't know.
What's wrong with you, Charlie B? Are you some kind of a moron or what? I mean, I can understand Gummo and Chico and Harpo and Zeppo, but like Groucho needs to have the Marx Brothers next to his name. Come on, Charlie B, you're slipping in your old age. I think you're falling into that whole sports nerd mentality. Because you notice even some of his polls, he's got a poll he sent us, so when did that come in, yesterday or whenever? About how many games the Dolphins are going to win?
I don't know. Today?
I'll tell you how many games the Dolphins are going to win, more than and less than 5. Okay. Groucho's got 41. Curly Howard of the Three Stooges, 35. We'll get to his buddies later, his brothers. Don Rickles, 33. How come he's only got 33? Jon Stewart, 32. See, that's another thing. We could get the young punks back if I pretend that Jon Stewart is very funny and that The Daily Show is really great. But I can't do that because it would be a big lie. I'm sure maybe once in a while, maybe.
When we got something good.
I just never saw any of those shows. Woody Allen, 22. Andrew Dice Clay, 20. Oh! Jack Benny, 20. Jackie Mason, 19. No, I'm not going to play it. Adam Sandler, 15. That makes me, again, want to puke. That's a demographic thing. Billy Crystal, 15. Larry David, 14. Who the hell's Larry David? Is he kin to Mo Howard David? Oh,
yes,
Larry David's one of the...
kin.
Huh?
He's the co-creator of Seinfeld.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, he's got a show now.
Oh, damn it. George Burns, 13. Lenny Bruce, 13. Buddy Hackett, 12. Jerry Lewis, 9. Milton Berle, 9. Gilda Radner, 8. Boy, I loved her. She was so great.
Mm-hmm.
Mo Howard David has got 7. I voted for him. I gave you my vote, Mo. Just for old time's sake. Henny Youngman, 6. He's still potchking with that violin. He's never going to play it. Jerry Stiller, 6. Gilbert Gottfried, 6. Ben Stiller, 5. Also, 2 Jewish for me. Sarah Silverman, 5. Roseanne Barr, 5. Al Franken, 5. Pauly Shore, 4. Shemp Howard of the Three Stooges, 4. Shemp. Joan Rivers, 3. Harpo Marx, 3. Tom Lehrer, 3. I never knew till this poll came in, I never knew he was Jewish. Sid Caesar, 3. Victor Borga, 3. Sandra Bernhard, 3. Carl Reiner, 2. We never did put Rob Reiner on there. Why the hell not? Put him on there, please.
Chris didn't like him.
No, seriously, are you anti-Semitic or what? Put Rob Reiner on there.
No problem.
More people are going to know him from All in the Family than are going to know Carl Reiner, who was on the Steve Allen Show 600 years ago. What the hell's wrong with you, man? Carl Reiner, 2. Bette Midler, 2. You're like all fat people like me. You're lazy. Like me, I resent having to work today. Robert Klein, 2. Al Jolson, 2. Mammy. Larry Fine of the Three Stooges, 2. You know what his favorite line was?
Oh, we're fine.
That's
fine.
Albert Brooks, 2. Fanny Bryce, 2. Rita Rudner, 1. Gummo has 1. Chico, 1. See, I call him Chico, but Groucho, we used to always call him Chico. Didn't we go through that once before?
I don't know.
Richard Lewis, 1. Oscar Levant, 1. Hey, Oscar.
You fairy.
Alan King won. He's dead. Danny Kaye won. George Jessel won. Shecky Green has won. Shelley Berman won. And Maury Amsterdam won. No votes for the following, and this really pisses me off. Ed Wynn doesn't have any votes. Ed Wynn was great.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Samberg, I have no idea who that is. Paul
Saturday Night Live, funny guy.
Who?
Saturday Night Live.
Oh, the new one, yeah. I don't watch it.
I know.
Ann Mira, Zeppo Marx, Charles Grodin. Oh, he's Jewish? I'm going to kill myself. Eddie Cantor and Red Buttons have none. Out of 703, we have over 700 votes. I think we're going to do 1,000 today. If we could do 1,000 on the 14th de Agosto, el 14 de Agosto, it would be big news, wouldn't it?
Okay.
It would be almost as big news as Bo Camper was on this morning to talk about Ethan Skolnik's bowel habits.
Ethan Skolnik from the Sun Sentinel. I'm a radio star now.
Well, what are we going to do about this? I think there needs to be a war. There needs to be a revolution between the pro-sports writer crowd, which is Clarence. I can't imagine anybody else in that building really believes that we need to put these people on the air. And all the rest of us, we need to kill him. What? What are you laughing about?
Extreme.
Now, who was the first one that I said that you had to kill? Chris, I said before that was your job.
Beast?
No, not the Beast. Now, tell us how that show went on Friday. Did you talk about this yesterday?
I guess a little.
Well, I want to hear from Chris how the show went. He was there. He was producing it.
It went. I mean, we had callers.
No, don't say it went. Don't look. Don't beat around the bush. Don't mince your words. I want to hear if it was okay or if it was a piece of garbage.
It was okay.
See,
it was 4 hours on a Friday. How's that?
Yeah.
Great. That's all I wanted it to be.
We didn't make. There was no radio magic made. We slogged through it.
Yeah. In other words, it was a piece of crap. Is that what you're trying to say? Why don't you just come right out, open up a mouth, and say something besides putting food in it? Say something.
Because I don't know if it was or wasn't. I mean, it was.
Were you embarrassed?
There.
Were you humiliated and disgraced to be associated with it? Yes. Well, that tells me.
Sports.
I like reading the sports section.
I like reading the sports section, too.
The paper's better than using a computer. You can read the paper on the toilet.
Yeah, I don't like computers, because what's that got to do with sports?
Sports. We got a girl in here.
Yeah, a girl.
Hello.
See, we're straight. That's a girl.
Girls are okay, but I'd rather stare blankly ahead and just talk about sports.
Kinda hard to believe we're losing the morning show. I mean, like, there just gotta be somebody out there that just wants to hear about nothing but sports.
What do you think the new morning show is going to be about?
Sports. Yeah.
I'll tell you what I'd rather hear about than sports writers. You know what it is? Any day of the week. I'll take it. 10:33, boy, we sure miss him, you know what?
Yeah, actually.
Yes, we do. Those were the days, man. Those days look great. The salad days, yeah. 714 votes. Boy, there's that 714 again. Now, what did we figure that was on? Quaaludes? What was it? 714?
Yeah, we had that discussion, but I never had the privilege.
You never
so
can figure it out.
Never did have a Quaalude.
Favorite Jewish comedian of all time. Nobody's going to touch Rodney Dangerfield. He's got 136. He's still dead, by the way.
Yes, he is.
What about Don Rickles? Is he alive?
Yes, he is.
Is he?
Yes.
Well, he's not doing too good, though. He's 100 votes behind. Rodney's got 136, and Don Rickles is a weak fifth with 36 votes. I'd have thought he'd done better than that. He's tied with Curly. And way down there in the middle of the pack is poor Mo. That's disappointing. Speaking of disappointing, Jenna Kern... Oh, and by the way, for the jackass, it was probably Tom Jicka that wrote the comment on the blog there, Ethan Skolnik's blog, about, well, I like the old Neil show better when, not with this reading stuff. Oh, no, yeah. Well, Tom, I hate to break the news to you. You're not going to hear the old Neil show again because Joyce is making damn sure that it is never, repeat after me, never, ever going to happen again.
Yeah, I read that one too.
Unless, of course, you do a good job, Chris, go over there and take her out. After you're through taking out Clarence, and I'm not talking about on a date.
Good.
When in doubt, take him out. You know what I mean? That's right. I'd go in there right now in his orifice, and I would just bend over and cut a big fat one right in his face.
Today would be a good day for that.
Wouldn't that be great? Why, is he there?
No, I have the equipment today. I have all the scented candles going in the studio today.
Jenna Kern Ruga. I have no idea how to say your name, Jenna. But she writes for Newsday. She has a column about Hillary. It says, more disappointing than liberal. I know a lot of you Hillary people out there are probably pretty PO'd at me because, oh, come on, Hillary's she's the guy, She makes me sick. She makes me nauseous. I don't think she could win a fixed race. I don't think she could get elected dog catcher in Chappaqua. But I could be wrong. Anyway, Jenna writes, when an email chat with a friend turned to the subject of the presidential race the other day, I expressed my disappointment over several recent comments by Senator Swillery Clinton. My friend's reply, so are you displeased with Hillary? I like Hillary and will probably vote for her. I just find it so interesting when people, especially women, say they won't vote for Hillary because they just don't like her. Too bad our society feels so threatened by intelligent and strong women. I truly believe the world would be a better place if our leaders were all women, she said. I couldn't agree more with the latter part of his statement. You see, I'm a card-carrying liberal feminist. Well, there's no actual card, but if there were, I'd probably carry it. My card's got bumper stickers that read, God bless the whole world, no exceptions, and peace is patriotic. As an 18-year-old, I marched against the Shoreham nuclear plant. Today, I march against the war. I reuse and recycle. I support a woman's right to choose. When one guest at a recent dinner party said to me, oh, you're one of those peaceniks, aren't you? I thanked him, even though somehow I didn't think he intended it as a compliment. With my liberal cred established, you might expect that I'd be thrilled that finally there's a viable female candidate for president. I grew up well before you could buy a Barbie doll prepackaged as the commander-in-chief. A woman with a chance to win the highest office in land, where do I pull the lever? As with many of my politically simpatico friends, I want to vote for Clinton. I'm not one of those women who just doesn't like her, but despite my belief that the world desperately needs more women in positions of power, Clinton has been a real disappointment to me, to which I would say,
absolutely correct,
ma'am. Yeah, she's extremely intelligent, very capable, and probably truly concerned about the issues I care most about, environmental protection, healthcare, diversity, world peace, and the rest of the so-called liberal agenda. But regardless of the fact that right-wing extremists like to make Clinton the poster child for the bleeding heart crowd, her positions have been anything but liberal. Why has it been so difficult for her to acknowledge that her vote to support the Iraq War was a mistake? Former Senator John Edwards has done so. Far from an act of weakness, it's a sign of character to be able to say, I'm sorry, especially for an action that has led to the deaths of thousands of Americans and tens of thousands of innocent Iraqi civilians. Now that the war rates poorly in public opinion polls, Clinton has spoken out against it. Better late than never, but late nonetheless. Why can't Clinton take on the hate-mongers and stop the I support civil unions but marriages between a man and a woman talk? I know no other Democratic candidate, with the exception of Dennis Kucinich, and we all know where his poll numbers are, have been firm in support of gay marriage. It's probably politically naive to expect it. What a shame. Why can't Clinton come clean and refuse to take money from lobbyists? Illinois Senator Barack Obama and Edwards have both made that bold pledge. Her reasoning that lobbyists represent real Americans doesn't ring true. Perhaps this is just more liberal naivete on my part. Speaking of naivete, that's an accusation being tossed around frequently these days. Clinton is called Obama naive and irresponsible for saying that he would meet with foreign dictators and take using nuclear weapons off the table and targeting Osama bin Laden. Trying to engage in talks with leaders who disagree with us, coming out against using nuclear weapons, those hardly seem like outrageous positions. Before the Clinton-Obama sniping grabbed the headlines, Elizabeth Edwards made some waves by suggesting that her husband is a better candidate for women than Clinton. Sometimes you feel you have to behave as a man and not talk about women's issues, Elizabeth Edwards said of Clinton, but it's misleading to get sidetracked by whether Clinton is overdoing the testosterone-laden talk. I know plenty of men who support the same issues I do and some women who don't. The truth should come down to this. Women and men, for that matter, should support the candidate who most reflects their principles, not their anatomy. It's not about just not liking Clinton. It's about not agreeing with her. With swillery.
You go, girl.
Yeah, you go, guy, whatever you are. How are we doing on that quest for 1,000 today? If I can get 1,000 votes today, we can go a whole week with no sports writers on his station. You know, you ought to get Clarence to agree to that. Of course, he never would. He's an idiot. Huh?
Okay.
You're funny.
Can you imagine a week on this radio station without Alex Marvez? Hey, Alex, where are you going to be tomorrow? He's going to be in Dallas tomorrow. Oh, Alex, can I kiss your cheeks again? Okay. You know something? Kenny Walker, I hate to say this because I never met the guy. You said he's a good guy. He makes me physically ill.
Damn.
He does. He makes me physically ill. He is such an ass-kissing fool, you know? Well, what is wrong with him? Can you tell me? Can you explain that? Is that an FM thing?
I don't know. I don't listen, so I can't explain it.
Oh. Oh, Alex, you're so great, Alex. Oh, it's so wonderful. This has been so good, man. Alex, can I, wipe it off now and come back for more later? 733 votes on a poll. I don't know. If we can get to, about 8:50 by noon, we're going to do it. And let me tell you right now, okay, for a guy that got 500 votes on your poll yesterday, although it wasn't a bad poll. It was a good poll. What?
Why do you say that? It's only on there for 6 hours,
look,
it matters.
Look, you've got that torn. Any guy that tore his hamstring skating.
Yeah.
And you're giving me crap?
I'm not giving you crap. You're giving me crap.
Well, what's new about that?
Nothing.
What do you want me to do? Sit here and kiss your ass for 4 hours?
No, the poll's on there for 6 hours, and you act like it means something.
What?
We get the same amount of votes per hour, no matter what. So it's on there for 6 hours. It doesn't get that many votes. If it's on there for 12 hours, like yours is,
that's my challenge for you tomorrow. Get 1,000 votes.
All right, I'll change the
You
poll now.
can put your poll on at 2 o'clock today.
How about if I change it now?
No, at 2 o'clock. I have never changed the poll when you were on before 2 o'clock. That's cheating. At 2:0001, that's fine. You don't care about it anyway, so what are you getting all defensive about, for Christ's sake?
I know I don't care, but you make it sound like nobody votes on the poll when I put it up there, and you leave it on there for 5 minutes when I put it on there.
Yeah.
And you leave yours on for 12 hours, then act like you accomplished something.
If you ever put a bad poll on there, you should have seen what the Beast did. I realize he came in short notice on Friday, which is very sad. Did you see? Now, what was the poll, Chris?
Yesterday?
What? No, Friday. What's the latest?
What's the new hot trendy item? It wasn't even
worded properly. It was like illiterate. What's the hot trend? I think the answer was turning the show off when the Beast is on, turning the radio off anytime he's on. God. And the reason he was on is because he's Clarence's boyfriend. That's why he was on.
That's what I hear.
That's the only reason he's on. And the thing that really cracks me up is that all these people that both stations put on here, they go on and they make sounds with their mouth for 2 minutes, and they think that they're broadcasters. That's the thing that really cracks me up. All these people are broadcasters. Like Lenny Martez, for example. When's the last time we had him on?
What's its new frequent renter program?
Yeah. Illiteracy be us, man. That's us at QAM.
God, your breasts are beautiful.
Tonight on Fashion Cops, the Ministry of Un-Islamic Dress is patrolling the streets of Tehran.
We are responding to a 410 female with a loose headscarf.
Hold it right there. Hands where I cannot see them.
Oh no, what is this about?
Why are your ears exposed?
The wind must have blown my scarf.
Yeah, tell it to the Ayatollah. Let's go.
Making sure the streets are safe from dangerous curves and Western-style haircuts is the job of the brave men and women of Fashion Cops Tehran.
We are approaching the trailer park, where a man is apparently using product, possibly hair gel. He is considered coiffed and dangerous.
Hey, buddy, what is in your pocket, eh?
Nothing.
Let me see. A tube of peepity-doo.
It's not mine. A friend asked me to hold it for him.
Who is your friend? The Vanilla Ice? You are going away for a long time, mister.
Fashion Cops Tehran. All suspects are considered guilty until proven innocent.
1047 at 560. Sports Writer Radio. All the sports writers all the time. They all sound like just like that, especially Ethan Skolnik, man. I remember Menashe Skolnik, his grandpa. I bet you Chickeneck remembers Menashe Skolnik. Not spelled the same way, not related, but nevertheless. At least he was funny. Now, have you met Ethan Skolnik?
Who are you talking to?
You. I mean,
me.
I know that Chris already
Me, George. If I met Lee, no, the answer is no.
In fact, I think Chris this weekend was over at Ethan's house sniffing his bowel movements and said it was really a good experience.
Yeah, definitely not.
Open up his nostrils for the rest of his life. Bo Camper, by the way, who specializes in things like that, although at the same time is a big Jim Noggle fan, he wants to close down those tea rooms in Fort Lauderdale because all the preverts are in there. All them homos are in there doing stuff. And he's sick and tired of taking his kids in there. And, of course, his kids are like 20 and 25, but nevertheless. All that stuff is going on. He's, let me say it again. How did we survive this long with that show? How long has that thing been on? About a year now?
Yeah, almost a year.
Has it really?
Yeah, it was last
Kenny
August.
And Bo Morning Blow show? What?
Yeah, it was last August some point that it came on.
Oh. And we're still here. We're all still alive. That's the amazing part of it. Joe Rose is coming back. Now, I don't know. I guess it must be official because they're writing about it in the newspapers, although it's supposed to be a big secret. Joe Rose is coming back September 3rd, I believe, is the date, isn't it? Shh. Oh, that's right. Well, that's the rumor that I'm hearing. He can't negotiate because he's still under contract. Oh, thank God Joe Rose is coming back. Oh! Of course, he never worked for this guy before, for Jolly Joe. What Joe doesn't know is that, like, 3 months after he comes back, Jolly Joe's got a buddy up in Raleigh who's going to come down and replace him. That's the rumor I'm starting. Wouldn't that be something?
That'd be funny.
Ho, 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 ho. Oh, guess who croaked, speaking of a Merv Griffin, beside him? And this is a good story. You want to know? I remember before the show I asked you about my 50th high school reunion.
Right.
The last 2 or 3 days, I'm getting a flurry of email messages on my BlackBerry from all these people I went to high school with, from my senior class. I graduated in 1960, long before most of you were even born. So the 50th reunion is coming up 2010. And like I told you, when you get to be, that's 3 years away. When you get to be this old, you don't start making plans for 3 years ahead. You know, they're not a good idea. And so we'll have to debate on whether I should go. We've had this debate before. I've still never gone to one. High school reunion. So this would be the first time in 50 years that I would see these people. Yoni Minagawa is dead.
Who?
She became the world's oldest person earlier this year. She's died at a nursing home in southwestern Japan. She was 114 years old. Old enough. Minagawa, who raised 4 sons and a daughter on her own by peddling flowers and vegetables, died of old age yesterday, said Toshiro Tachibana, an official at the nursing home in Fukuchi, 520 miles southwest of Tokyo. You got to be real careful with these Japanese. Yeah, Fukuchi. Fukuchi, you man.
Thanks.
Her appetite's been declining recently and her energy fading, Tachibana said. The death was not sudden. Born on January 4th, 1983, 1983? Yeah, 1893. Holy moly. She made it through 3 centuries. Can you believe it?
I believe it.
Minagawa was named the world's oldest person by the Guinness Book of World Records in January, following the death of Emma Faust Tillman, also 114 in the USA. Minagawa outlived all her children except 1 daughter and 7 grandchildren, 12 great-grandchildren, and 2 great-great-grandchildren, according to the nursing home. Japan has one of the world's longest average lifespans, a factor often attributed to a healthy diet rich in fish and rice. I hate fish and I can't eat rice because I'm diabetic and it sends your blood sugar soaring. Plus rice. I mean, I don't mind rice, you know. But if you're going to cheat, are you going to eat rice?
No.
Ask me if my blood sugar's been real good lately.
No.
I don't have to, I guess.
Why? Ask me if it's been really...
No.
No, because you're a stress eater, so...
Well, what kind of stress have I been under?
Oh, none that I know of.
You're going to start talking about that birthday party for my Mexican buddy?
I wasn't going to bring it up.
Went off without a hitch Friday night. Oh, yeah. Thank God I didn't go there. Can you imagine if I would have gone there and seen the place and there's like, it's 9 o'clock at night. The party was supposed to start at 8 till like 3 in the morning. And 9 o'clock he gets there with his small group of buddies. And there's nothing going on there. There's no bartender. There's no food. There's no music. There's no nothing. So who, of course, takes all the crap? I do. You know.
Right.
Oh, God.
That spent $1 zillion to put. But everything, everybody showed up, and it was great. No stress. Although I did eat a liter of Score ice cream the next day.
Uh-huh.
In 2006, Japanese women set a new record for life expectancy at 85.81 years, while men live an average of about 79 years. I'm moving to Japan. Too late. The number of Japanese living beyond 100 has almost quadrupled in the past 10 years and is soon expected to surpass 28,000, the government announced last September. So if you want to live to be 100, move to Japan. It's not because of where you live. It's too late for that. You got to live your whole life eating that diet.
Right.
And breathing in that fresh air, you know, all the fallout from Hiroshima and that stuff. Now, would you, I don't know, do you think the air is really breathable in Japan?
Sure, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, 55, let's see, 62
Don't
years
go
ago.
there and lick the ground, you know, that's where any radiation would still
Don't go there and get your licks. And the Japanese, by the way, are very uptight about that whole, you know, about the sex trade and all that in Japan. If you're like a tourist, I was reading about that. If you're a tourist, they won't even take you to the places where all the hanky-spanky is going on, because they want to make you think that they don't care about sex.
Maybe if you know the language. That's not what I heard.
Do you know the language?
No, I don't, but I know people that do. My daughter that spent a year there said that everything's right out in the open, depending on where you go, that they don't
well, I sure hope your daughter wasn't exposed to any Japanese hanky-spanky. That would be bad.
She knows all about it, knows how to take care of herself, especially when she's a whole head taller than the tallest guy.
Oh, yeah. Why, are the Japanese like midgets like the Chinese?
That's not as much as they used to be, since they've, gotten around to the improved diet. But nevertheless,
maybe since
she's
all
tall.
radioactivity is dissipated from Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Maybe they're mutants.
They stop getting born with like 6 eyes in the corner of their head and stuff like that. That'll teach them. 763 votes on our poll today. I think we're going to make that 1,000, and boy, then the sports writers even will be writing big columns about it. You'll see. See, that's the thing that kills me. It just tears my guts out. If we were getting some tremendous amount of even a little of publicity, something. And you do realize that these people, most of them are getting paid.
Yeah, I do.
I hate to tell that to the two of you because you're both getting paid like measly by the Beasley.
Sure.
But they don't have money to take care of the people that count.
That get ratings.
But the people that don't count, the people that nobody in the world wants to hear or know about or read their stupid columns, these people they put on the payroll.
Yeah.
And we get nothing.
Why would anybody want to listen to anything else?
We get nothing. They won't shill for us in their columns. They won't say, oh, my God, why would anybody listen to 790 and stuff like that, as if we care on this show, which we don't. And all you silly people that want to write to Ethan Skolnik's blog, go right ahead. Have a good time. Knock yourselves out. Nobody wants to listen to Neil Rogers because he don't talk about sports and ball games and guys that wear jock straps and take showers naked together. I mean, who the hell wants to listen to that crap? Why would anybody want to listen to that? Who's your favorite Jewish comedian of all time? Rodney Dangerfield, 149. Mel Brooks, 95. Jerry Seinfeld is third with 51, which means there's no hope for the human race. That's disgusting. Curly Howard, 45. Groucho Marx of the Marx Brothers, it says here, 44. If Eric doesn't take that Marx Brothers off there. Can you do that, Chris?
No, he has to.
Come on, Eric. That's embarrassing. Even Charlie B. is embarrassed that he did that in a moment of weakness. Don Rickles, 38, and Jon Stewart, 32. Everybody else is under 30. Andrew Dice Clay's got 20, to which I say, oh! He's pretty old and stale, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, anymore.
Not though when he says that. That's always going to be good. 1056 at 560 WQAM, your sports writer station for the new millennium, where we're going to take sports writers and we're going to jam them down your throat and we're going to stuff them into every orifice in your body. You're going to have sports writers coming out of your eyes, out of your rectum, armpits, everywhere.
This is the Neil Rogers Show.
Oh my God.
This is your brain.
Oh my God.
Any questions?
Come in. Welcome to the Mohammed David Advertising Agency of Florida.
Yes, my company's developed spinal implants for Democrats, and I'm looking for a way to market these.
Say no more. Let Mo develop your marketing campaign.
All right.
Sit down, shut up, and get this straight, see? Our research shows that radio spots are more effective in selling a product or services with cell phone ring. You hear that?
Yes.
It's a cell phone ring. Makes it sound potent, don't it? Huh?
Yes.
Why, it's as if people are calling all over the world about your product. Huh? Listen to that.
Okay.
And another thing. We always say, it's the real deal.
What's that mean?
It came after they used to say the real thing or something. But this one here rhymes.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a guy on staff who says it like, we-o-d-o. Says it a lot.
Yes, but with production costs, announcing fees.
Talent is free. We don't have to pay for that.
Well, I was thinking about targeting Miami.
Miami? Why, that calls for salsa music. Yeah, salsa music. It's the best way to pander to Cubans. That's all them Cubans know. Salsa music. Get your toes tapping, don't it? Hey, what do you think?
It's 11:02 at 560 WQAM. Happy Tuesday to you, El 14 de Agosto. And I'll say it again, I'd much rather hear that. I'd much rather bring back those days than the sports writer era, baby. This is another one of those eras. You know what I mean by that?
What do you mean?
It's another one of those losing propositions, like the Wannstedt era and the Saban era, and then, of course, the Cam Cameron era. What kind of a name is that? Did he just make that up, Chris?
No, I didn't make that up.
Like a cowboy name, you know, like Gabby Hayes and Roy Rogers and Hopalong Cassidy and Cam Cameron. Riding in from the West. They suck. Well, speaking of football, the New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady may have run away with the top spot on Esquire's annual list of best-dressed men in the world last week. But a new day has dawned for the pigskin Papa-to-be. This week, number 12 made Star Magazine's list of runaway dads. In this week's issue, Tom has taken a task in the tabloid for sticking with his supermodel gal pal Gisele Bündchen when his ex, 60 Degrees actress Bridget Moynihan announced he was 3 months pregnant. I'll tell you one thing, boy, he sure can impregnate all these chicks, can't he? He must be a very impotent guy. The quarterback's an ace on the job, but he fumbled big time off the field, says the Star. After the November 2006 split, Tom, 30...
About 30, man.
Jumped from his girlfriend of 3 years, Bridget, to supermodel Gisele Bündchen, who publicly admitted to crushing on him before he was single. Nice touch, it says. Touch this. Then, when Bridget revealed she was 3 months pregnant with his child in February 2007, rumors flew that she may have gotten pregnant on purpose when she realized Tom was dumping her. Rumors that reportedly stem from Tom's camp, snipes the Star. There's nothing worse than some bitch that gets pregnant on purpose to trap some guy. The Patriots print shares the not-so-stellar spotlight of the supermarket tabloid with ER doctor Goran Visnich, how do you say it? Who knocked up a woman as he and his wife were in the throes of adopting a child. And then there's funny man Eddie Murphy, who laughed off the Melanie Scary Spice Brown when she announced he was the father of her unborn child. Turns out he was. He laughed it off, and he is. Other scorn mums in the Star spread include Weeds gal Mary Louise Parker, who was 8 months pregnant when she was dumped by boyfriend actor Billy Crudup, who took up with Hollywood ingenue Claire Danes. Who the hell are these people? Billy Crudup? Who is that?
An actor.
And then there's Kim Porter, who got the I'm Out of Here treatment by P. Diddy after she delivered their twin girls in December. I'm out of here. Bye, bitch. Brady, the alleged runaway dad, reportedly has in recent months kept in closer contact with his baby's mama as she heads into the home stretch on the left coast, which some say is ticking off his glamazon gal pal Gisele, who remains in New York. Wow. All these problems, all these people screwing around, making babies. And here I thought Tom was a clean-cut guy, you know. As long as I live, I'll never forget that call. Some old fart. I thought he was a clean-cut guy. Clean-cut guys don't have sex. They don't go around impregnating all these broads. 778 votes on that poll already. We're going to make 1,000 today easy, Chris.
Sounds good to me.
That's my fearless prediction. And if we get 1,000 votes, don't forget, no more sports writers on QM till the end of the year.
I'll deliver the message.
So where is he today, Clarence? So don't tell me he's out there at camp.
He's around. He's running around.
He is running around?
Sure.
Well, you go out there in the hallway, and in fact, you ought to be running around after him with your
hopping
torn
around.
Thing. George has got a torn thing.
Not the first time.
Who's your favorite Jewish comedian of all time is our poll today. And, of course, we probably should put a thing about there. Should we put a thing? Well, it's not I hate this poll. We don't do that anymore. But how about I hate the Jews? What?
God, what an anti-Semite. Why would you give those people something to vote for?
Why not? There's a whole bunch of them out there. Look, there's nothing wrong with honesty, okay? What? You don't think we ought to put
I was just groaning. I had to shift.
Look, there's nothing wrong with honesty, okay? What? You don't think we ought to put
I was just groaning. I had to shift, and it hurt.
You had to what?
Shift my position.
Did you hear what he said, Chris?
He said shift.
How do you spell that?
S-H-I.
781 votes on the poll. If we can make 1,000 by 2 o'clock, no more sports writers on QAM till the year 2525, when all the current ones are long since dead. Now, do you think I'm going? And you'll notice that the more I talk about it, the more he puts them on there.
Right.
Like I told Fat Ass Jolly Joe Bell, whatever I say, you'll do exactly the opposite.
What do you know about ratings?
That's right. Whatever I
Mr.
say, they'll do the opposite. If I said we ought to have a sports writer on even on this show, they'd say, "Oh, that's a bad idea." And nobody wants to hear what those bozos have to say, those a-holes, which would be, of course, the correct answer. If anybody's interested in freaking Ethan Skolnik, read his crappiness on Sentinel. Don't infect our airwaves and our transmitter with his squeaky voice. Don't we have enough? We got Foxy Roxy, and we had Geldy on there, which finally we dumped his squeaky ass out of there. And now we got Ethan Skolnik on there, who's like a 10-year-old kid with bad BMs. 781 on the pool. And it's no contest. That's the sad part. We could probably get like 50,000 votes if we had like a real, you know what I mean? If there was like a goal involved there. A real race, a horse race. Rodney Dangerfield, 152. He's way out in front. Nobody's touching Rodney. And when you come right down to it, who the hell would want to? Mel Brooks, 95. Jerry Seinfeld, 52. Groucho Marx. Thank you, Eric. Nice job. He took off of the Marx Brothers. God, is Charlie being an idiot. Groucho, 45. Curly Howard, 45. Don Rickles, 40. Jon Stewart, 32, of the oh-so-funny Daily Show. Oh, my God. Jon Stewart is a panic, a laugh riot. That's the rumor that all the punks are starting. Now, do you still watch that show?
What show?
Woody Allen, 24, Jackie Mason, 23, and Andrew Dice Clay and Jack Benny are both still stuck at...
Rectum?
No. Yeah, they're stuck there. When I think of Andrew Dice Clay, I always think of Jack Benny, don't you? In fact, they showed Merv Griffin interviewing Jack Benny on one of the 4,000 clips on Larry last night. Now that Merv Griffin is dead, we have to eulogize and pee all over his grave. Oh, Merv, you were so great. What a talent. The Merv Griffin Show, my God. And he always used to, he'd have like Tom Cruise on or Chris Atkins. You know, remember Chris Atkins from...
Sure.
Yeah.
A Night in Heaven.
Right.
Return to Blue Lagoon.
No.
I guess the original, yeah, that's it. What?
Edge of the couch, and you can see the saliva dripping down. At least I think that's what it was.
So you cut out for like 10 seconds?
I did?
Yeah. Nobody heard the last 10 seconds. Came back when you were breathing heavy. It was kind of a funny non sequitur, actually.
Oh. That's because Merv died, so I was all worked up about it. Or maybe because I said Chris Atkins in the Blue Lagoon.
Mm-hmm.
What did I cut out for? The lights are all on. Everything here is functioning just fine. Don't tell me you're having another malfunction at the junction.
Or somebody in the other room is, having a good time.
Oh.
Could be anything.
Yeah, probably Alex Marvez is running around there sabotaging our show. Because it has nothing to do with sports. You know, that bit, I should just put that on a loop.
Oh, let me tell you, the positive feedback from all corners because of that bit.
Sports,
that's everyone's favorite.
Sports.
Yeah, I mean, what does this show have to do with that? Why would anybody want to listen to this show when we're not talking about the Dolphin game on Thursday, when exhibitionist games that don't count for nothing and that mean absolutely nothing? And the best part of the whole deal is they had a real difficulty. They lifted the blackout on the game. It was on television. Am I right, Chris?
Correct.
But it wasn't sold out. You know, if it was a regular season game, it would have been blacked out. How embarrassing. How humiliating and degrading. But that's South Florida for you. A real great sports town. That's why we ought to have, like Ray Perry says, 50 sports stations on the air. Then it would attract so many more people to all sports radio, you know? Isn't that what he said?
Yep.
Thanks for those Dolphin tickets, by the way, Ray. Better late than ever. That's what the professor says. Thanks. And thanks to George for delivering them, too, by the way.
No problem.
He said you were a good guy. He said it was kind of surprising. It wasn't what he expected.
He said that?
Yeah, he said you were like more low-key than he thought. I don't know what he thought.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I was regular old me.
And you liked him?
Yeah, he was a sweetheart.
Well, good. So I'm glad everybody's like that. I'm trying to bring peace and love to the world while everybody else is like killing each other. Although Clarence, in your case, will make an exception.
Come.
This is the most disgusting program. I urge everyone to complain to this station.
I'm Al Gore. Did you know old-fashioned flush toilets waste valuable clean water? Well, now, there's an earth-friendly alternative. Introducing Al Gore's Earth Toilet. Why, I have several Earth toilets right in my own backyard. This one smells like pine. Well, at least the top part does. Tipper used this one this morning. Look, there's another Earth toilet that smells just like a rose. But, ow! Watch out for the thorns. We used to have another Earth toilet out in the garden, but Al the Third smoked it. Personally, I prefer using the collection of smaller dwarf Earth toilets that line my front walkway. Let me show you how they work. Wow, there's nothing more satisfying than relieving yourself on a bush.
What the hell are you doing, Gore?
Saving the planet, you're welcome. So next time nature calls, call on nature with the Al Gore Earth Toilet.
Available at the Garden Center at Walmart.
So let me ask you this. If you had to choose between Swery and Al Gore, what would your choice be? See what I'm saying?
Him.
Of course.
Of course.
Is there any doubt?
No.
But her name is Clinton, and she was married to Bubba, and everybody still likes Bubba. And look what we got now. Pop had Bubba. Look what we got. We got 798 votes. When I click that baby again, we might just have 800. And we do. We got 802. And now you want to know why that is? You want to know the votes are coming in big, sloppy, messy, smelly chunks. You want to know why?
Why?
Because they...
Why?
Because they really believe that if we can get the 1,000 votes by 2 o'clock, that there won't be any more sports writers on here. We're praying, we're begging, we're pleading with you. Stop, you lunatics, you maniacs, stop! You can't tell these people anything. Haven't we always known that?
Yes.
They know it all. We know nothing. Alex freaking Marvez and Ethan Skolnik. You know something? If there should be like an accident, you know, and the two of them should get like butchered in the street this afternoon, that would be very sad, you know. But and Dave Hyde, throw his ass on the pile too. By the way, okay, Dave, run and hide. That's what I would do if I was you. Oh God, am I leaving anybody out? How about Mike Berardino? We still got baseball games going on. Are they putting that stiff on the air too still?
I believe so.
Well, what is the concept? Am I missing something? What is it all about, Alfie? Well, tell me what it's all about.
The more you talk about sports, the more people want to listen.
No, you don't understand. They're paying the hosts big, fat bucks to talk about sports.
One
These are
guy.
supposed to be the experts.
That's just one guy. If you can get all
Kenny
these
and
other...
Bo is one guy?
Okay, that's only 2 guys. If you can get like 5 guys in there that are supposed to know something about sports all talking at the same time, then five times the number of people will want to listen to that.
Variably, this is the worst news I ever heard in my life, and it's another good reason to stay out of South Florida. Don't ever go anywhere near there. Variably priced toll lanes will be built in the center of I-95 between downtown Miami and Fort Lauderdale as part of a new federal program aimed at reducing congestion and enhancing mass transit in major urban areas, the U.S. Department of Transportation is announcing today. The state will get $62.5 million in grants to help cover the estimated $200 million price tag to convert the underused and politically unpopular HOV lanes in the center median of I-95 into an all-electronic high-occupancy toll, a HOT facility. H-O-T, HOT. Doesn't sound too hot to me. The rest of the money is expected to come from state coffers and could be repaid in part by tolls generated in the new express lanes. U.S. Transportation Secretary Mary Peters is going to make the announcement at a news conference at 11 o'clock this morning, but they're too busy talking about Michael Vick on CNN. Well, maybe I missed it. I don't know. Was it on? I didn't see it. This is a huge deal for South Florida, said the unctuous U.S. Representative Mario Diaz-Balart, Republican of Miami, who sits on the House Transportation Committee. We're going to be one of only 5 chosen. We're going to be at the forefront of some serious innovations, he said. I really believe this is going to have a pretty dramatic impact on traffic. It's been done in other places, and it works. Everything that's done in other places and works doesn't work in South Florida, Lincoln, Mario, whichever one of the Diaz-Balarts you are, Mario. The grants are among $1.1 billion being offered to 5 urban areas nationwide to try innovative approaches to ease mounting congestion problems. The 95 Express plan would convert the HOV lanes to 2 express toll lanes in each direction for the 21 miles between 395 in Miami and 595 in Fort Lauderdale. Traffic will be permitted to enter and exit at 5 points along the route. express lanes, toll lanes. The highway's current configuration would change, and I don't know of anywhere else. Am I wrong? Are there tolls on interstate highways in the country that I don't know about?
I don't know. Maybe, but I don't know.
The highway's current configuration would change some to squeeze in the extra lanes, especially in Dade where the highway is narrower and confined by nearby development. Most lanes would be reduced from 12 feet wide to 11 feet wide. The median and shoulders would also shrink, which, of course, knowing the kind of driving you have in South Florida, ought to make for a really beautiful, beautiful situation. Nah. Tolls would be collected electronically through SunPass, and they would vary depending on the amount of traffic on the highway. When traffic is light, the tolls will be low. As more vehicles opt to use the express lanes, the price will rise. Volumes will be monitored via electronic sensors in the roadway and cameras monitored by transportation workers to guarantee a 50-mile-an-hour journey. Electronic signs posted before the express lanes would flash the toll rate and how much time drivers could potentially save by using the express route instead of the non-toll general use lanes. You following this? In other words, it's not going to be a toll road all the way. If you use the non-toll general use lanes, then, so what do you think people are going to do?
It depends on if they're schleppers or not.
Slam on the brake and get in the free lane, right? When you say, oh, it's going to be $100 a minute.
Uh-huh.
Traffic planners speculated a driver during rush hour might pay 30 cents a mile.
About 30, man.
Or $6 to go from Miami to Fort Lauderdale. During less travel times, the toll will be much lower. $6 to drive from Miami to Fort Lauderdale. Plus the gas, of course. That's just the toll. 30 cents a freaking mile. Public buses and registered car pullers with 3 or more occupants will be allowed to use the express lanes for free. FDOT will also be using some of the revenue generated in the tolling area to add buses in the Dade and Broward transit fleets that will run the length of the corridor instead of the current situation where cross-county commuters are forced to transfer between systems at the county line. Everybody get out and walk now. Beside the promise of speeding up bus rides, the 95 Express plan could also lead to inter-county rapid bus routes instead of riders having to transfer buses between Dade and Broward. Traffic planners hope to begin the project this year and complete it by late 2008. It don't sound too great to me, but what do I know, you know? I say the good deal would be if they put all the sports riders out there in the highway and let everybody, like, run them over. It would be good. We could broadcast it live. Don't you think that's a good idea?
It's a great idea.
Now, did you find Clarence yet, or what?
No, I ain't going to hobble around looking for him. To do what? So that he can laugh in my face?
No, I'm talking about Chris, not you.
Oh, so he can laugh in Chris's face?
I didn't go look for him, but, you know.
But what?
Do you really want me to?
No. If we get to 1,000 votes by 2 o'clock, no more sports writers ever on QAM, ever. Not even allowed in the building. Not only do they pay these guys, and I guarantee they're feeding them too. Am I right?
I don't know.
No idea.
You don't think that they're chowing up on that free crap from Howie's and everybody else that they bring in every morning? You think that they're just sitting there passing on by? Oh, who are you kidding? Sports writers are the worst. In fact, who was it that was always bitching about the food in the press box? Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Humper.
That was fun.
He's on vacation anyway. 820 votes. I am just amazed. My God, it's like, I don't know what you would call this. A fluke, I know. And George is thinking, you put it on there at 3:30 yesterday, Fatso. What, you know, what's the big deal? If you can get 1,000 votes tomorrow, that would seal the deal.
All right.
So come up with a really nifty poll. Not one of Charlie B's stupid-ass polls, like how many games are the Dolphins going to win this season?
No, I'm going to use a Charlie B. stupid-ass poll. You betcha.
What?
I'll use a Charlie B. stupid-ass poll.
Well, not that one, though.
No.
If Al Pacino hadn't played Michael Corleone in The Godfather...
No, not that.
Oh, my God. That series of polls was the worst. The worst. Then he's got this poll. What's your take on all the trouble that Lindsay, Paris, Nicole, and Brittany keep getting into? The only answer, of course, is who the hell cares? If you have even... Phil Rizzuto is dead. The scooter.
Oh, no. What are we going to do?
The Yankees during some of those dynasty
89.
days. A Hall of Fame shortstop.
The oldest living member of Baseball Hall of Fame until he just croaked.
89, and he was, in fact, the oldest living member of
the scooter. Holy cow. Holy cow. He was awful. Man, was good ball player. Great shortstop, but boy, he was one of the worst broadcasters in history. Holy cow! Horrible. And there's another case of nepotism. Nepotism is when it's family, right?
Yes.
Cronyism, is that a better word to use?
Sure.
Cronyism? Yeah. That's why he had that job for all those 8 zillion years. And Steinbrenner told him one time, and so I'm told, because he wanted to retire about 100 years ago, and he told him, Phil, you'll retire when I tell you to retire. How do you like that? That's the kind of crap that people with a lot of money like George Steinbrenner do. And then their team winds up sucking wind. They're still sucking wind, aren't they, this season, the Yankees, by the way?
Yes.
With the Red Sox 80 games ahead, I hope?
Not that far.
They're pretty far ahead. And the Blue Jays suck, too, by the way. Favorite Jewish comedian of all time, Rodney Dangerfield is kicking ass, baby, 161. And Mel Brooks is doing nice in second with 98, but not even close, out of 828. We are definitely going to top 1,000 votes today. All sports writers entering the QM building will be shot on sight after today.
Roger Scott.
Absolutely.
Hey kids, shut off your computers. That's because the internet is ruining modern music. You can't make a decent song if you do it online. I should know I haven't written a good song since '79. Yeah, MySpace and YouTube got me so upset. That's why I'm so freaked out. Blame the internet. Sure, all of the gay sites are wonderful, but blogging is what's obscene.
Huh?
Don't have to prove I'm right, 'cause I'm a knight, but I'm acting like a spoiled queen. You fairy. But blame the internet. They know.
11:31 at 560 WQAM. So you never answered my question about whether I should go and see all these stodgy old farts that I haven't seen in 50 years at my 50th class reunion in 2010.
Well, I can answer for you since he's not currently here.
Oh, George went out. Now, how did he limp out of there or what? How's he
Of
getting
course.
around?
He limps everywhere he goes right now.
Yeah.
Someone gave him the a nickname that I'm not really going to say, but you know. But you know, he said he might not be back on time, and just to pray for him.
I wonder if it had something to do with crap. I wouldn't be surprised. No,
I think he's trying to drown Joyce, is what he said.
Forget about him. Can we get back to my class reunion?
I think you should go.
And see people that I haven't seen in 50 years?
Look at it this way. You're probably the best looking of the group, or at least in the top 10%. So you can kind of go, but you'll even feel better about yourself.
It's the only time in my life I've ever looked better than my classmates is once I guess we got past 50. I guess, you know.
Yeah, see? So, you know. Go give you some little bit of boost of confidence. How's that?
A boost in confidence?
Yeah, of course.
As opposed to what?
As opposed to going there and, like, you know, having everybody look at you like, wow, what happened to you?
Well, what does that mean, a boost in confidence? That is such a shot. That's like saying, oh, you have such a inferiority complex, Neil. You know.
I would never say that.
1,528 friends in MySpace, that's not too shabby.
Exactly, see?
And if Miguel wouldn't have gotten fired, he'd be around there and he could come in and say, boy, what a great job, Neil, but he's got canned because Fat-Ass Jolly Joe had to bring in one of his cronies from Raleigh to take his job.
He still listens.
Every now and then I get a thing from him on MySpace. He's one of our 1,528 friends. So the scooter's dead. Here's the story.
I thought he already was.
Yeah, how can you tell?
Exactly.
Phil Rizzuto, the Hall of Fame shortstop during the Yankees' dynasty years, and beloved by who? Okay, by idiots? A generation of fans for exclaiming, "Holy cow!" as a broadcaster died today. He was 89. First of all, he stole "Holy cow" from Harry Carey, and number two, he never said "Holy cow." It was always "Oli." He left off the H. "Holy cow." He was a broadcaster like I'm a brain surgeon, okay? His death was confirmed by the Yankees. Rizzuto had been in declining health for several years, was living at a nursing home in West Orange, New Jersey. Rizzuto, known as the Scooter, played for the Yankees throughout the 40s and 50s and won 7 World Series as his titles. The Scooter is dead. Oh, what a banner week. And it's only Tuesday. What day did Merv Griffin die? It was over the weekend, wasn't it?
I think Sunday.
Was it Sunday?
I think so.
Good. See, you're not supposed to say that. That's so. Well, he was 82, which is, 82 is not that old, especially when you're 64 like me, almost 65. But the Scooter was 89. And living in a nursing home in West Orange, New Jersey, as they say in New York. West Orange. You can't say orange, it has to be orange. And then you know you're from New York. And you're probably obnoxious like Sid the Kid. When you start talking with that real heavy New York accent and really just rub it in.
Yeah, so I read that blog, and that was just kind of, or the comments, I guess, to that blog, that's just kind of sad.
Yeah, every blog, every website, even political websites, where there's supposed to be like some intelligent people reading it, and you'd assume that anybody that would be involved in it might have an IQ larger than their thing. Well, guess what? Anybody on the internet, 90% of the people that waste their time writing comments are morons. It's a peeing contest. That's all it is a peeing contest to see who can tinkle the most. I got it right here if you want to waste our time with it.
No.
And if you look at his blog, Ethan Skolnik, this is from, what day was this? Does it even have a date on it? It's got a time, 12:01:27 a.m., but doesn't have a date. Nice going, Ethan, you idiot. Doesn't even have a date. Oh, here it is, 8:13. Well, that was yesterday? No, I guess that's the day that I printed it out. I don't know. Anyway, he says the sports media industry is incestuous, whether in newspapers or radio or TV, and a lot of us end up working at more than one place in a market. No Schmidt, Ethan, and by the way, your Schmidt do stink. That's what Kimba Bocamper told us. Really, really bad, too, he said, oh, take a whiff of that and pass out. On that note, he says South Florida Sports Radio is getting a serious shake-up. Wow. Jorge Sedano, who used to host the show on 9:40 a.m. and has been recently the overnight guy for Fox Sports Radio while handling Heat studio
The shrimp with the limp is back.
Oh, the shrimp with the limp is back, the shrimp? Is
Yo,
taking
yo.
a slot at 7:90 a.m. As you probably know, writes Ethan, Joe Rose and Jason Jackson will be taking over the morning show on 560 in September. So it's not a secret, George. I don't have to, dummy up.
What's not a secret?
And Steve Goldstein has moved from 560 to 790, where he's been filling in, says Ethan Skolnik. That Joe Rose is starting September 3rd on QAM. Ethan says it's not easy to keep straight. So here are the regular weekday lineups. He doesn't even have the times. Are you looking at this thing, Chris?
I looked at it before, yeah.
Times. Right. What kind of an article is this, Ethan? And we put you on the air like you're a credible human being?
No, see, it's not an article. It's a blog. They can do whatever they want.
He says, here are the regular weekday lineups, though these guys tend to take their share of time off, so you'll hear different voices on different days. You'll hear the Dolphins program on 560 now. You'll also hear more Sentinel voices on 560 and Herald voices on 790. That's because they have that incestuous relationship across the street with the freaking Herald, with Dan LeBastard and Greg Kotex and that bunch. So, no, I won't be reprising the role I had on George's previous local shows, he says, meaning George Sedano. Jorge as opposed to... So I guess, like tomorrow, you can listen to Jorge midday or Jorge. On the
Sure.
Right?
Right, but we'll be talking about,
560, he's got Orlando Alzaquiri, Joe Rose and Jason Jackson. After that, Neil Rogers even mentioned my name. Thank you, Ethan, so much, you idiot, you loser, you fairy. Mad Dog, Hank Goldberg, Ed Kaplan. And then first off the bench, Kim Bocamper, Evan Cohen, and Curtis Stevenson. First off the bench. You see how everything has got to have a sports analogy? First off the bench? 790, Sid Rosenberg, a.k.a. Obnoxious New Yorker. George Sedano. And no times on these shows. Nobody's got any times. Boog Shambi with Zaslow. Who is Zaslow? I thought he's the guy that played
he's his
Roger Phillips
producer.
on Guiding Light. Oh. So why do we need that?
Well, he's kind of become part of the show.
Dan LeBastard, John Wiener, and, of course, Hock. Hoke? How do you say that?
I don't know.
H-O-C-H? Hock Mernishkin Chinek? Kevin Rogers, and the Dos Amigos. Wow. First off the bench, Steve Goldstein, Jeff DeForest, and Jeremy Marks Peltz. Whatever that means. And then it's got all the comments on here, posted by this loser, and posted by this another loser, Happy and Sunrise, and Sammy, and Eric, and Schmendrick, and this one, and that. Oh, my God.
The great comments are when people from 790 post on it. Not just Sid, other people did.
No, do they? Well, of course. The ones where they're kissing their ass, naturally. Where do you think they came from, the audience? Here's a good comment, though. As long as Defoe is not on, it's a good day. Oh, they hate you, Defoe. Although he kicked the Big O's ass in the last
Rock solid.
And then they blew him out of there. As Joel Feinberg continues. See, Joel, you fit in perfect in the market. I never thought you could do it, but you finally got the message. If it's not broken, diddle with it. If it's working, fix it. Break it into a million pieces like Greg Reed and then try to fix it like Jolly Joe Fat-Ass Bell. No mo sports writers, okay? Because we're going to make the 1,000 easy today. I think I've given them an extra incentive. 850. 850. Now, isn't that Steve Lappa Nightmare 850? Isn't that WFTL, which used to be on 1400, and they moved the call letters around? They still have no audience. That's where the Man Cow's got a share, and Bill O'Reilly's got a share. Like Norma Kent said, if Steve Lappa's got the Midas touch in reverse, everything he touches turns to...
Fudge packing?
Absolutely.
Can't believe what I just saw that woman do.
Oh my God.
Reached up and grabbed my husband's junk. She's lucky I didn't jump right off the stage and then take her out with just one punch. 'Cause you know you shouldn't squeeze, you better let them be. Keep your hands off the family jewels. It's really kind of rude to grab his package right in front of me. Look what you can't touch, you shouldn't gather nuts. Lady, you had better learn his things belong to me. You know you shouldn't squeeze.
Unless you mean it. If you mean it, okay.
Don't squeeze.
I bet you George was squeezing for good reason here in the last few minutes. Now, you were out there doing your squeezing when I asked Chris about the 50th reunion and whether I should go or not. He said, oh, yeah, you're going to look better than anybody else, and it'll be great. And he said it'll reinforce your confidence. Is that what you said?
You have such low self-esteem, you know.
Yeah.
You're such a shrinking violet.
Well, what does that mean, Chris? That's what he said. It was a real shot, and then he denied it. Then he pretended he didn't say that. You're full of crap. So you think I should go?
I would, if I were you.
Would?
If I were you. You got way more impressive stuff
Not that far.
Yeah.
Canandaigua Academy, baby. Canandaigua, New York is right 30
You'll be the only one showing up
miles
that's
south
like
of Rochester.
a big radio star, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what it's all about, is about who gets to brag the most.
Well, I am told that I'm the most, I mean, not that this is something that they're going to write on my tombstone, but I'm the most successful graduate of Canandaigua Academy in history.
Sure.
Well, it's a town of 10,000 people. It's not like it's some, although, you know, there were a lot of really bright kids in my class and a lot of hot, oh, baby.
Woo!
Well, see, I would go back if they looked like they did back then. But you know how depressing it is to see somebody 50 years after you've seen them before? The last time?
No, I don't.
Somebody who looked really, really great, and then you see them 50 years later. It's like if you had I've used this comparison before. I think it's valid. If you went to Ruth Chris or some really good steakhouse and you had a nice juicy steak on a plate, you know, and then 50 years later they just left it sitting there for 50 years, you know, and you went back 50 years later and looked at the same piece of meat, if I can say that. You follow what I'm saying? Do you think it would be appetizing? Do you think you'd say, delish? Oh, God. Am I right?
Yep.
So why should I go then?
But there's more to it than that.
Than how they look. That's right. You're
exactly.
not going to like to have an
none of them are good looking anymore.
Right. For sure.
Going back for the other reasons. Like maybe there were some people that you liked.
What are those?
Maybe you had some friends in those days. I don't know. Well, then
that's a show.
Oh, no, there were people I liked. There was Ronnie Stiggins and Bob Witherspoon, and I'm trying to think of anybody else. And the Gerstner kids, they weren't in my class. But, boy, they sure look good. Ralph Harris, he was in my class. I've actually confabulated online with, 2 or 3 of these people over the years. Ralph Harris, I was like obsessed. I had like a wild obsession. But that's 50 years ago. And I know he doesn't look that good now because I've seen pictures of how he looks now, and he don't look all that... Well, he's like my age. He's the same age. He's an old fart like me. Okay? And you keep saying that doesn't make any difference. Well, of course it makes a difference when you go and you see... Because I've seen the pictures. My friend David Benson, I told you he came up here a couple of years ago, and I took him and his girlfriend.
Wife?
No, not his wife. His girlfriend to Ruth Chris.
Yeah, I know how that goes.
No, it went great. We had a good time. I told the story. But anyway, he has emailed me the pictures of some of these people, and... Oh, my God, it just, you want to cry.
You know, if that's all there was, if that's the only thing that interested you about them is how they look, then don't. But if you had some friends that you'd like to see again...
No.
Then don't.
Well, look, if I'd have kept in constant touch with these people and I called, in other words, the people who are my friends now are people that I associate with and have been doing for, however long.
Right. But did
Just
you have
because you
friends
were friends with
then?
somebody in school 50 years ago doesn't mean you call them your friends unless you've kept in
Not
touch
necessarily.
with them. Don't you? What?
If they were your friends then and you had some good times and maybe you'd like to see them again, then you go. And if otherwise, then you don't.
I wish I'd have had some
It's
good
real
times
simple.
then, but I didn't.
Well, then don't. What's the point?
Exactly. I don't know. It might be fascinating.
I had
It's not
some
that
friends
far.
that I would definitely, from high school, definitely like to see again. They were good
I
people.
could fly
like to
right
see,
across the lake, baby, right over to Rochester and then rent a car and drive to Canandaigua.
Right.
Which the school, by the way, isn't even the same school. They rebuilt the school in a different location. It's not even the same building. I don't know what that building is no more. I mean, I have been back there once or twice in the intervening time. Don't ask me why. I have no idea.
Okay, don't ask.
I don't know. Just out of curiosity. And you drive by the house where you live and then the other house where you live, And you see, it doesn't mean anything. Even when I was in elementary school, I've been back to Rochester and in Brighton and driven by the house. 123 Verena Drive in Rochester. I drove by the house. And it was painted a different color, and it was like, and what was the deal? What did I do that for? You can't live in the past.
I don't know.
Yeah.
For fun.
It wasn't any fun. It was just
Well,
stupid.
then don't do it.
Yeah, and then I drove in the house where I was born, in that neighborhood, and there are no white people there anymore. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I don't want Bo Camper coming on this afternoon and say I called somebody a coon on the air today. I don't need that. Till that episode, I never realized what a moron he is. But then when you're dealing with guys that played like Gerald Ford, played too much football without a helmet, what do you expect? Am I right? What do you expect?
Nothing.
And he's going to be on the Power Hour with the Mad Dog this afternoon between 4 and 5 because the Humper's on vacation. And then Bo and the Big O, Bo and O, at Dolphin Camp between 5 and 6:30.
Rock solid.
Because we're obsessed with the Dolphins now that the exhibition season is underway. And they're 1-for-1, baby. They pulled that game out of their arse. They're right at the arse end of the game. That Cam Cameron boy goes for the 2 points and wins the game 18-17 and pulls victory from the jaws of defeat. I bet you that was really impressive.
No.
Not from what I read about it. I didn't see it because it wasn't, it wasn't televised national. But Chris watched it, I bet. Did you watch the whole game?
No.
Why not?
Because it's preseason.
And nobody cares about exhibition games. You know who the people are that care about exhibition games?
No.
People who go to practice. I've talked about that before. Like the porkers, the broads that couldn't get laid in a pickle patch, they go to watch practice. Like at hockey arenas.
Well, practice makes perfect.
And they press their nose up against the glass like Petunia Pig, to try to get a sniff.
Yeah, if only it was just the girls doing that.
Well, I didn't
Instead
say
of our entire staff.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, there's a bunch of girls like Clarence. That's a girl for you. And the Beast. How's his marriage doing, by the way, the Beast?
Doing just fine.
I hope he's not breaking the chairs at home like he is at QAM.
I don't know. I'll ask.
Yeah, ask around. 871 votes on the poll. We're going to be closing on 900 by noon, which means we got 2 hours. The 1,000, I think it's a gimme, as they say. Phil Rizzuto's dead, by the way, in case you missed him a couple minutes ago. The Scooter's dead. I think the wrong Scooter died. You know who should have died? Scooter Libby should have died, right?
Right.
Don't you think that God maybe had bad aim or something? Oh, you better get Scooter today, okay, because Bush gave him a pardon. And so God zapped his magic finger, and he killed the wrong Scooter. He's always screwing up like that. God dang it. Who's your favorite Jewish comedian of all time? We got 871 vote. Rodney Dangerfield has 167 of them. He is kicking ass. I mean, I like him. He's funny, but I would never vote for him in a million years. He's not, to me, I don't know. Do you understand that?
What?
That he's getting all those votes?
We liked him. I mean, he was around a long time. He was in a lot of funny movies. Multi-generational comedian.
Okay. Mel Brooks, 103. What about Gene Wilder? Isn't he Jewish?
Isn't he? Isn't everybody? In comedy?
No, seriously, better Google that. Gene Wilder.
I think
We
he
got
is.
Gilda Radner on
he
there,
is.
but he is?
He's got a big nose, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's true.
Curly hair.
Can you Google it, or is your infirmity
Chris is
preventing...
Googling it while I'm talking. See, it's a team
Coochie,
over here.
Coochie, coo. Google, whatever.
What were
Mel
you
Brooks
saying?
103. Is Gene Wilder Jewish? I'm sure he is.
So I'm looking.
You're still
Go
looking?
to Jew.com.
Yeah. Go to famousjews.com.
Of
Jerry
Russian
Sein-
Jewish immigrants.
What does it say?
Of Russian Jewish immigrants.
So put him on there, please, Gene Wilder. He'll get a bunch of votes. I like Gene Wilder. I think he's very funny.
Yep.
At any rate. Jerry Seinfeld, 59. Curly Howard, 51. I wonder if Curly ever said... Groucho's got 50. We finally took that thing off of there. Thank you again, Eric. You're okay. Not great, but okay. Don Rickles, 43. Jon Stewart, 37. Man, he used to be so funny on that Daily Show, and then I started watching it once in a while. He stopped being funny. Woody Allen, 26. I can't stand him. Jackie Mason, 25. Andrew Dice Clay, 23. Billy Crystal, 22. Jack Benny, 22. George Burns, 20. Adam Sandler, 17. Funny as a heart attack. Buddy Hackett, 17. Larry David, 17. Isn't Buddy Hackett dead? Yes.
Yes.
And you want to know why? He was fat. Oh, and you know, Merv Griffin, he had was it prostate cancer?
I don't know.
And then that was years ago. And he was bragging in one interview about the fact that, well, he wasn't going to change anything. He was still eating all the same crap, and he was smoking like a chimney. He was chain smoking, baby. Well, wouldn't you think that? I don't know. I always feel that a good scare does a lot of good for you, but not in his case. And now he's dead. Lenny Bruce, 16. Milton Berle, 12. How come Uncle Milty's only got 12? That's bad. That's got to be a generational thing, doesn't it?
I imagine.
Wow, that is so bad. Now, I'm not going to read about Jerry Lewis has only got 9. That's because of that telethon. Everybody hates him. They hate Jerry Lewis. Look at the ones who've got 0. Gene Wilder just went on. He'll get votes. Rob Reiner, Ed Wynn's got no votes. Oh, my God. And that's because the old farts don't have no internet.
This is Brady Quinn. Whenever I shave my balls, I listen to the Neil Rogers 12 to 1 hour.
Well, I've known my sister all my life. That is why she's now my wife. And I think my son may know it's true. He's my nephew, too. Well, my daddy is my Uncle Joe. My mother is my dear Aunt Flo. It is very plain to see my first cousin is me. Oh!
1201 at 560. I don't think I ever let that last note get on the air before.
Really?
It was the first. Yeah,
an important note.
On it. Is it?
My second favorite one.
Tropical Storm Dean emerged in the central Atlantic this morning. Could strengthen into a major hurricane within the next 5 days.
Oh, my God.
I don't want to get anybody nervous and jerky, but it is that time of the year, you know. Another great reason not to be in South Florida. At the same time, forecasters suggested a projected path on a course that would put Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, Cuba, and South Florida more under the gun. Under the current forecast, the system would grow into a minimal hurricane Friday morning, cross over the northern Lesser Antilles on Saturday morning, and be at Puerto Rico's doorstep Sunday morning with winds of almost 110 miles an hour, which would be just shy of Category 3 status. However, because the system still was almost 1,500 miles from the Lesser Antilles, or about 2,800 miles from Miami, the predicted track could contain large errors, the National Hurricane Center in Dade said. Large errors. Big, fat ones. As 11 o'clock this morning, Dean was galloping. It was walloping and galloping. Galloping west at 23 miles an hour with sustained winds of 40 miles an hour. Its tropical force winds extended out 35 miles from its center, making it a relatively small system at this point. However, as it intensifies, forecasters expect it to expand considerably. Hurricane specialist Lixion Avila of the Hurricane Center. What kind of a name is that? Lixion? Lixion?
Don't know.
Lixion? How do you pronounce X in Spanish?
Like X?
Lixion?
Sure.
No. Get out of here.
All right. See you.
There are names in Mexico, for example, that start with X, and it's always like sh, like SH.
Well, then you'd have to ask a Mexican.
Okay, I will. Hurricane specialist Lixiana Avila of the Hurricane Hurricane Center said the system should continue moving to the west for 2 to 3 days. Your anti-Mexican bias, man, is really just, it's just...
I don't know what you're talking about.
After that, he said the forecast becomes highly uncertain because it's unknown how Dean will interact with a ridge of high pressure north of it. If the ridge remains strong, as some models indicate, it would keep the storm moving more to the west toward the Caribbean, depending on how you say it. I don't say it at all. Other models show a weaker ridge resulting in a gradual turn to the west-northwest. The next forecast will be at 5 this afternoon. I'm sure we'll be all over that like Stink on Greg here at QAM. Won't we? Not. And you want to know why?
Why?
Hurricanes, we understand University of Miami, what that has, but what does this hurricane, or possible hurricane, have to do with...
Sports!
Right. I mean, it blows, but other than that. How are we doing on this poll? 892. Before we even do the next break, we'll have over 900. I mean, is there any doubt at all? And that's because they don't want to hear Ethan Skolnik. They definitely don't want to hear Alex Marvez or Mike Berardino or Dave Run and Hyde or any of these losers. They don't want to hear them. They don't want to hear Eddie the Pope. They don't want to hear Barry the Jackass. They don't want to hear these people. No mo. Don't you understand it, Clarence? No mo. I'm surprised. Well, that's because... isn't this cute? How about Sammy Davis Jr. for your poll?
Right.
Can we have a meeting about that? Can we have a panel discussion about that?
I think he passes.
He did. Gas.
Away.
He passed away. He's dead. Sammy Davis is dead. Phil Rizzuto is dead. Merv Griffin is dead. What kind of a world is this anyway, huh? Sammy Davis Jr. You want to put him on there, Chris, or what?
Okay.
He was Jewish. Why do you say it like that? Why do you know? Okay. Like I
how dare you say it?
Try a different way, see what sounds better.
Yeah, try a different way of saying it. You want to put him on there?
Okay.
Thanks, Kim.
Oh, my God. Oh, Mattel issues a new recall of toys produced in China. And the best part of this whole deal is...
If it's from China, it'll kill you.
That's right. The Chinese are... I don't want to say... I'm not talking about the Chinese people because there's so many of them, you know. And there's so many of them here. Holy cow. I didn't tell the story about the bag lady winning the $100,000 jackpot at Wheel of Fortune.
Not on the air, no.
I told you that before the show. Yeah, she's like a bag lady. I'm sitting there, this old bag, dressed like she just came out of a dumpster, like a homeless person, and she's wandering around looking for an open machine, and I didn't pay too much attention because, you know, who am I to talk? And like 5 minutes later, I hear a lot of screaming and yelling, and one of the regulars comes over and smacks me on the back, which, don't touch me again. And 100,000 down there on number 6. Well, yeah, sure enough, she put a $20 bill in. She didn't have any idea what she was doing, what she won, what was going on. 3 Wheel of Fortune things came up, and she won $100,000. Bitch. And right away, all the regulars are like, except me. I just sat there playing my machine, man, hoping for the best. They're all, oh, geez, the regulars never win the jackpots. It's always somebody like that comes in off the street. Well, you know what? Too bad. There's nothing worse than sour grapes, you know? Am I right? Isn't that sour grapes?
Sure is.
Sure, I would like to have won it. I would like to have my machine with the jackpots of 166. I would like to have those 3 Wheel of Fortunes come up and win it.
Better some bag lady than some rich F that already has too much money.
That's right. That's a good point. Or one of the regulars who's a real a-hole, and believe me, there are many of them. Including this old Indian guy with a bad hairpiece and the smelly armpits. Anyway, Mattel, the world's largest toy company, announced today its second major recall in a month of Chinese-made toys contaminated with lead paint. At the same time, I recall, must be, hotels.com. Go to hell. At the same time, I recall millions of other toys from other sources whose small, powerful maggots could come loose and be swallowed by children. You don't want your kids swallowing small, powerful maggots. The latest recalls are another major embarrassment for Mattel, which began an ad campaign today in an effort to reassure consumers about its commitment to product safety. Yeah, they said ad in the New York Times, full-page ad. And the ad said, nothing is more important than the safety of our children. Our long record of safety at Mattel is why we're one of the most trusted names with parents, it says, and I'm confident that the actions we're taking now will maintain that trust, said Robert Eckert, chief executive of Mattel. Well, too bad. You lose, baby, because more bad news from China. The company, in a statement issued from its headquarters in El Segundo, California, said it was recalling a total of 436,000 Chinese-made toys, more than half of the market in the U.S. that had impermissible levels of lead. The toys are die-cast vehicles featuring the Sarge character from the movie Cars. Mattel said the defects in the products made between May and July were discovered as part of an investigation of all of its toy manufacturing that began in July after receiving a tip about lead-based paint. The latest move involves toys from a different Chinese contractor than those involved after the initial recall earlier this month. Don't brush your teeth with Chinese toothpaste.
Right.
Don't be eating no... I don't want to say that.
Cat.
Don't be eating no cat. Kitty cat. Putty cat. The separate action today involved 18.2 million magnetic toys, about half of them sold in the U.S., expanded a recall initiated last year after reports of deaths and injuries to kids who ingested magnets that had come loose. Mattel said the recall covered 63 different toys, all sold before January this year, including 44 Polly Pocket toys, 11 Doggy Daycare toys, 4 Batman toys, a one-piece toy, and 2 Barbie toys. Polly Pocket toy. Well, what is that?
Well, it's a toy.
Like a pocket rocket?
A little doll fits in your pocket.
Yeah.
Named Polly. Polly Pocket.
And 11 Doggy Daycare toys? What is that? Doggy Daycare?
Yeah.
Don't be messing with my dogs because they'll be on the menu for lunch next over there in China. Why do people want to go visit China? What is there to see there? Do you want to go there?
I don't know. My best friend just went over there. He said, oh, it's great. Everything's cheap. You can get everything you want for a nickel.
Like lead poisoning?
You don't mind the lead, yeah.
Right.
Lead on everything. They just pour it on there like sauce.
Or you go to downtown Miami and get different kind of lead, right, in the head. So he said it was good?
Yeah, he keeps talking me into wanting to go, or trying to talk me into going. I said, I don't want to go to China. I don't want to eat dog.
Do you have any idea how many other places you must see before you go to China?
Yeah,
wasting
like every
time
other,
and money?
except for Mexico, of course.
Racist.
Huh. Why would you say that?
I don't want to go to Mexico. Do you?
No.
Well, then.
Mainly because when I go somewhere, I'd like to come back alive.
That's a good start, yeah. I like to be able to drink the water.
I would love to go to Bogota.
Right.
I always wanted to go to Colombia, but the more I read, the more I think, probably not a really good idea.
No, thank you.
Although at least, I mean, a lot of these places, all you have to do is buy a one-way ticket.
Right.
Not that bad. 9:05 on the poll, Chris. How do you like that? I bet even Chris is impressed.
Oh, yeah, so impressed.
He doesn't care. Have you got your poll ready for tomorrow that you're going to slap on there at 2 o'clock?
Yeah, I got it.
Look at who we have on tomorrow. I think basically I can see the white flag of surrender out the window there in the bullpen. You know that window? Isn't there a bull? Where's the window?
They think this is all good. They think this makes people want to listen more.
I can see the white flag. Tomorrow there's no Mad Dog, so Curtis is on 2 to 4. Power Hour is with Curtis and Joe Zagacki between 4 and 5 tomorrow, and then Joe Z from 5 to 6:30.
Joe Zagacki sucks, okay?
Wow. Like Don Meredith used to sing, "Turn out the lights, the party's over." He used to sing that back in the day, back before most of you were born. Back when Monday Night Football was really funny and fun watching, because Howard Cosell and Dandy Don were on there, and that dullard Frank Gifford was doing the play-by-play, and everybody said, boy, he really blows, and he did. Even Kathy Lee said that. 9:06 on our award-winning poll, 1,000 is within our grasp.
The game where ordinary Joes take on top-notch interior designers. Chef Foxworthy hosts Are You Gayer Than a Decorator?
Our first contestant is Ralph, a construction worker from the Bronx, and he's up against decorator Philippe LaFlame. Let's find out if he's gayer than a decorator. Here's your question. How would you arrange furniture for a night of entertaining?
I don't know. Make sure everybody can see the TV.
Philippe?
Oh, my God. No. You must arrange them in a cozy conversation pit.
Oh, sorry, Ralph. You're not gayer than a decorator. Next is a bull rider from Butte, Montana. Welcome, Rusty Rowland. Okay, Rusty, what is the perfect wall hanging for a sports-themed TV room?
A Capazio ballet dancing poster.
Philippe?
Wow, I would have set a picture of Peyton Manning.
Congratulations, Rusty. You are indeed gayer than a decorator.
Don't miss Are You Gayer Than a Decorator? Tonight on Fox.
Y'all gonna ask me a question about window treatments?
Yeah, treat this. 12:17 at 560 WQAM. It's a big Tuesday, baby. Tuesday, August, el 14 de agosto. And if you're smart, you're not in town. What's this stuff you're sending me now?
Priest stories.
Oh, no, not more priest stories. Oh, brother.
You fairy.
A fired high school administrator and defrocked priest. I'm not going, by the way, to that reunion, my 50th reunion. Well, no, because I'm reading these long commentaries that are coming from these different people, and I don't know. I just have no interest in their lives or them or anything about them. I mean, if they're still alive, good for them. What?
Then don't go.
Yeah. A fired high school administrator and defrocked priest captured in April after being on the run for months in places as distant as Malaysia pleaded guilty Wednesday. Now, what maybe, I guess, last Wednesday? What's the date on this thing? August 8th. See, this is old. Last Wednesday. To molesting one of his teenage students. Bruce Jacques pleaded guilty to 2 counts of criminal sex act in the 3rd degree, admitting he performed oral sex on a 16-year-old boy, first inside his Manhattan school and 2 hours later in Central Park. 2 hours later. Jacques, 57, entered the plea in exchange for a sentence of 1 to 3 years in prison. Had he been convicted at trial, he would have faced a sentence of 2 2/3 to 8 years. You ever hear of a sentence of 2 2/3?
No.
Well, you did now. 2 2/3 to 8 years. State Supreme Court Justice Rena Uvular.
What word did you say?
Set October 18th for sentencing. Assistant District Attorney Kerry O'Connell said in April, shortly after Jacques was captured, he'd been returned to New York after being caught trying to sneak into the U.S. from British Columbia on Canada's west coast, O'Connell said that Jacques spent most of his time as a fugitive in Malaysia. She told the court that investigators knew he was in Malaysia because he frequently used his email account and they were able to track him down. The charges against Jacques, a former Episcopalian priest, were related to acts he admittedly performed on Robert Louis Stevenson school student on October 20th, 2005. O'Connell said the boy told a teacher what was going on, and the teacher followed them from the school into the park. The teacher lost him in the park, didn't see the sexual activity, but back at the school he alerted the headmaster. When Jacques returned, the teacher and the headmaster confronted him and noticed a... Oh, I can't read this. No. Noticed a substance on his shirt. He was summarily fired that day, O'Connell said in April. What is this from? Is this from like a reliable public... Oh, this is from CBS News. I'm still not going to read that. Would you read that?
No.
Oh. Confronted him and noticed a substance on his shirt. He was summarily fired that day, O'Connell said in April. By the time police were called, Jacques had fled. Maybe it was whipped cream.
Maybe it was glaze.
Yeah.
From a donut.
My eyes are glazed over from reading this. The student's parents have filed a lawsuit that's pending in Brooklyn State Supreme Court against Jacques and the headmaster who hired him. The suit charges the defendants with negligence and recklessness in hiring Jacques. The school hired Jacques as a development director and fundraiser. O'Connell said he'd been dismissed as priest by the Episcopal Church in New Milford, Connecticut some 8 years ago for propositioning a 13-year-old boy. I wonder what was on his shirt. Well, at any rate. You know that what's in your wallet? What's on your T-shirt? That might be kind of cute. What's that substance? Anyway, here's the poll, and how are we doing here toward our goal for 1,000? 915. Is there any doubt? Even George, who doesn't care, even he knows we'll make 1,000 a day. And then after that, now did Chris go and find Clarence and kick him a new ass?
I saw him, and no, I didn't kick him a new ass.
And what did you do?
I said hello.
And that was it?
Well, yeah.
You are such a wuss, man. For the kind of money they're paying you, you don't have the balls to kick him in the groin and smack him in the head saying, no more sports writers. Didn't you say that?
Well, I kind of figured that very little money is better than no money, so...
Oh. In other words, you're terrified. You're scared schmitless of him.
No.
He's pathetic. What does he weigh, about 82 pounds soaking wet? Now let's look at the bottom of the poll, 913. Maury Amsterdam finally got one. Do you know he was the host of the Tonight Show before anybody else? He was the first host. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Yes, you did. I've said it a million times. You just don't pay attention.
No, I don't, because I don't care.
Red Buttons got a vote. Ho, 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 ho. Ho, ho. See, you could say that back in the day before ho meant what it does today. You could say ho, ho. Today they would fine you. The FCC would take you to jail. Red Buttons, he's dead. He had one. Shelley Berman had one. George Jessel won. There's a whole lot of people got one. Sammy Davis Jr.'s got one. One glass eye. Gene Wilder got a vote. Wouldn't you think Gene Wilder would be doing better than that? No?
I would imagine. He went on late.
Rita Rudner got one. Ann Mira got one. She's Jewish? Ann Mira?
Are you kidding?
Oh, my God. She makes me sick.
Judar didn't go off with that one?
Gummo had one. Gummo Marx. Chico has one. Oscar Levant won. And Alan King won. And Danny Kaye. But the no votes, 0 for Rob Reiner. I was sure he'd get votes. Meathead from All in the Family. What's wrong with you people? They just didn't think he was that funny.
I did.
He was good.
You know, Rodney Dangerfield.
Andy Samberg has none. Paul Reiser has got none.
Riser.
Zeppo Marx has
Riser.
none.
You anti-Semite.
You can't say Riser. Because if you say Riser, I'm going to have to play. Where he says a first-class riser. Is that a first-class riser or just a regular riser?
Regular.
Zeppo had none. Charles Grodin has none, thank God. Eddie Cantor, none. And that's because of the time. All the people that remember Eddie Cantor are real old, like me and Chicken Neck, you know? If you knew Susie like I knew Susie. Back in the day, early days of TV, you know, when there was a lot of crap and then they'd kill time, you know. Kind of like what we do here at QAM. There's a lot of crap, we put it on the air and it kills some time and gets no ratings and, you know. And then they bellyache. Whoa, what are we going to do? Whoa, yeah, like that. Timothy Gatto on the Smirking Chimp has got a short but very good column here. George W. Bush, this is your life. He says, congratulations to you, President Bush. You may not realize this, but you and Vice President Rabid Dog Cheney have turned your citizens against their own country. Most Americans I come in contact with through my writing now believe the U.S. is a predatory nation that kills human beings indiscriminately, takes whatever it wants when it wants it. Don't believe me? Just look at some of my writing in the last few weeks. There are people that feel this nation is too far over the brink to ever be brought back to a decent republic. They feel shame over everything that's happened, not only on your watch, even though that started it, but now they've looked at the nation with a critical eye, and they don't really believe that this nation's ever stood for anything worthwhile. I know this isn't true. The U.S. has done some noble things in its history. What you are seeing, Bush baby, is something called malaise. So, just so you know what I'm talking about, I'll give you the definition. I know you aren't that smart. And then it's got the dictionary definition. An indefinite feeling of debility or lack of health, often indicative of an accompanying the onset of an illness, or a vague sense of mental or moral ill-being, a malaise of cynicism and despair. Why do they have this condition? I don't think you have very far to go to see what's caused it. Look in the mirror, call Dick Cheney and Rice and Gates and listen to their worldview as if you weren't the president, but a spectator from middle America. Push yourself in the place of someone who has a hard time meeting their rent or mortgage payment, or an old lady that lost her life savings to the Enron scandal, or to a young woman that lost her husband to an IED, or maybe someone who thought they could get this country on the right track, but now sees that it's a Herculean task because all the cards are stacked in the government's favor. Oh, that's another word you probably have a hard time with. It's called empathy, of which you have none. You won't see this malaise in the eyes of the people you meet. You're too busy slapping each other on the back and telling each other what a great job they've done. Most of them are making money hand over fist and don't have a care in the world. You surround yourself with these people. They don't see what they've done to the spirit of the people in this once proud nation. They're in denial. Remember when you were drinking and snorting coke and chasing Mexican girls in Texas and your parents told you that you had a problem? You didn't believe them. That's what denial is. Once you've done it, you can't see clearly at all. It's a system of beliefs that don't allow you to see reality. Just as well, if you really saw what you've done to this country, you'd put a bullet in your mouth like Hitler did. Yeah, you're that bad. The trouble with all of this is that after most people get over their malaise, they get angry, a lot like I am, writes Timothy. Once they get really angry, there isn't much you can do after that. The thing is, after they shake the feelings off, they really don't care what happens as long as they don't have to go back to feeling the way they did before. Some of them will die before they get that hopeless feeling again. I know that's where I am. It only takes one spark to set them off, then someone from their family, away from their family, for writing against the things America is doing. Let me try that sentence again. Take someone away from their family for writing against the things America is doing. Start your war against Iran that we know you're planning. Let the rest of your cronies put everyone on part-time so they don't have to pay their workers' benefits and watch this nation come to a boil. Howard Zinn is wrong. If you're going by what he writes, you must feel pretty comfortable. He's practically given up on the human race. You have to deal with people like me. I've told your generals to go to hell, and I'm still here. There are others around like me, too. People that haven't given up on this country. People that still believe that this country is of the people and for the people. So while you're sitting back enjoying this good life, remember that there are many in this country that don't wish you well. There are many in this country that, at this point, are ashamed to be Americans. That's sad. That's where you've brought us, to this place of hopelessness. Just remember this after depression and anger. I hope you're ready for it, says Timothy Gatto. As in El Gato del Sol. Remember Gato del Sol?
Who?
Hey, will you start speaking Mexican or what?
Sports.
I like reading the sports section.
I like reading the sports section, too.
The paper's better than using a computer. You can read the paper on the toilet.
Yeah, I don't like computers, because what's that got to do with sports?
Sports. We got a girl in here.
Yeah, a girl.
Hello.
See, we're straight. That's a girl.
Girls are okay, but I'd rather stare blankly ahead and just talk about sports.
Sports. Kind of hard to believe we're losing the morning show. I mean, like, there just got to be somebody out there that just wants to hear about nothing but sports.
What do you think the new morning show's going to be about?
Sports. Yeah.
12:33. We have 933 votes on the poll. Well, we're not far away now, Chris. Well, when that moment comes when we get to 1,000 votes, I'm bailing out of here. I'm going to lunch. I just had my lunch. I had two slices of Swiss cheese, no carbs.
Good.
Is that okay?
That's fine.
And not Kraft either.
Even better.
One thing about you, man, when you turn on a company or on people or
That's right.
whatever.
That's right. I don't believe in
You turned on
forgiveness.
the Mexicans, man. It was a bad day for them.
I never turned on the Mexicans.
A former state legislature chaplain who ran for the assembly last year in New York State has admitted to sexually abusing 4 underage boys while serving as rector
Rectum
of a Central New York church. Officials with the Episcopal Diocese of Central New York say J. Edward Putnam, 66, recently admitted in a written statement to the bishop that he engaged in inappropriate conduct with minors while at St. James Episcopal Church in Skaneateles. You ever hear of Skaneateles, New York?
No.
You did now. An investigation began in May, resulted in his being suspended last month from acting as a priest for 20 years. Diocese officials say Putnam was ordained in 1970, admitted to sexually abusing the boys from early 1985 to mid-1993, 8 years. He served as chaplain of the assembly from 94 to 96. Last year he ran unsuccessfully for the assembly itself, and he got whipped. Hey, Father.
You fairy.
Anyway, remember the story about the old lady in Japan that croaked?
Yes.
Well, according to Guinness Book of World Records, Edna Parker, 114, of Shelbyville, Indiana, is now the world's oldest person after Yoni Minagawa of Japan died yesterday. Edna's 114. Parker was born on April 20th, 1918. I keep doing that because I can't relate to anybody who was born in 18 anything. Still alive. April 20th, 1893, she lives at the Heritage House Convalescent Center, about 25 miles southeast of Indianapolis. She was born in Morgan County, growing up on a farm before becoming a teacher. She taught in a 2-room school in Smithland, Indiana, for several years, till she wed her childhood sweetheart and next-door neighbor Earl Parker in 1911. The same year, she graduated from Franklin College. Parker had 2 sons, both of whom she has outlived. Her husband died in 1938. 67 years ago, her husband croaked. That incredible or what? 69 years ago. At just 5 feet tall and 70 pounds, Parker is still able to walk. She's in good health and enjoys reciting poetry. Is that incredible or what?
Jolly good.
Minagawa, who raised 4 sons and a daughter on her own by peddling flowers and vegetables, died Monday afternoon. Well, I already went through the story about that old bag. We don't want to rehash that, do we?
No.
We don't?
No.
Well, why not? Kill some precious time, baby. Now, let me ask you about the calls, because I haven't taken one today. How are your calls been? Really good, huh?
Spectacular. No, when they're coming in, they're all right, but then they don't.
They don't come in?
Right.
Good.
Except for the
936
stalkers.
votes on the poll. Favorite Jewish comedian of all time. I may read the whole list, because I don't want to reread the story about that 114-year-old Japanese woman that croaked. Rodney Dangerfield, kicking big ass, 181. Mel Brooks, 111. Jerry Seinfeld, 62. Groucho, 54. Curly Howard, 53. Don Rickles, 43. Now, why is Curly getting more votes than Mo? Maybe they don't like Mo. Think that could be it? Who did you like best?
I liked Curly, but, don't make me choose. Larry, nobody ever talked about Larry.
Don't make you choose. Is this a tough decision?
I always liked Larry. He had the best lines.
I see. Don Rickles, 43. John Stewart, 39. Boy, that show, I'm telling you, it's just really, it is what it is. Woody Allen's got...
About 30, man.
Jackie Mason, 27. Jack Benny, 24. Andrew Dice Clay, 23.
Oh!
Billy Crystal, 22. George Burns, 21. Adam Sandler, 20. Buddy Hackett, and Larry David, 19. Larry David is, who did you tell me he was?
The co-creator of Seinfeld. He has his own show now called...
I'm so sorry. The Larry David Show.
There you go.
Oh. Gilda Radner, 12. Milton Berle, 12. Uncle Milty's only got a dozen? Don't you think that's got to be an age thing? A generational thing? He was Mr. Television, baby. He was like...
it's an age thing.
It's an age thing. All the people that like Milton Berle are dead except me.
And Chicken
Jerry
Neck.
Stiller, 9. What?
And Chicken Neck.
And Chicken Neck. He's alive, too. Barely. Jerry Lewis, 9. How's he doing, by the way? I haven't heard any whining or
No, I haven't
complaining.
either, no.
Now, do I owe him any money at this point or not? No. Not for a while yet. But I'm sure that when I do, I'll be hearing about it.
Beware of exploding balls.
Yeah! What's up, y'all? This your boy G-Mike. See, I usually do songs with, hooks and concepts and shit, right? But that, man, I'm trying to go platinum. So I'm about to rock this. Check this out, y'all. Read a book, read a book, read a book. Read a book, read a book, read a book. Read a book, read a book, read a book. Read a book, read a book, read a book. R-E-A-D-S-B-O, okay. R-E-A-D-S-B-O, okay. R-E-A-D-S-B-O, okay. R-E-A-D-S-B-O, okay. Not a sports page, not a magazine, but a book. Book. Yeah. Not a sports page, not a magazine, but a book. Book. Yeah. Not a sports page, not a magazine, but a book. Book. Not a sports page, not a magazine, but a book. Book. Read a book, read a book, read a book. Read a book, read a book, read a book. Read a book, read a book, read a book. Read a book, read a book, read a book. R-E-A-D-S-B-O, okay. R-E-A-D-S-B-O, okay. R-E-A-D-S-B-O, okay. R-E-A-D-S-B-O, raise your kids, raise your kids, raise your damn kids. Raise your kids, raise your kids, raise your damn kids. Raise your kids, raise your kids, raise your damn kids. Raise your kids, raise your kids, raise your damn kids. Body needs water, so drink that. Body needs water, so drink that. Your body needs water, so drink that. Your body needs water, so drink that. Buy some land, buy some land. Spin it real, buy some land, buy some land. Spin it real, buy some land, buy some land. Spin it real, buy some land, buy some land. Spin it real, brush your teeth, brush your teeth, brush your damn teeth. Brush your teeth, brush your teeth, brush your damn teeth. Brush your teeth, brush your teeth, brush your damn teeth. Brush your teeth, brush your teeth, brush your damn teeth. Deodorant, 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 deodorant. Coffee stick, it's not expensive. It's coffee stick, it's not expensive. It's coffee stick, it's not expensive. It's coffee stick, it's not expensive. Read a book, read a book, read a book. Read a book, read a book, read a book. Read a book, read a book, read a book. Read a book, read a book, read a book.
1246. I sure hope you haven't been playing that thing now, because then when I come on and play, it's like, oh, gee, we don't want to hear that anymore. You're killing us.
Played it yesterday.
You did?
At 1 o'clock.
Oh, why?
Why not?
That's a good idea. I agree with you. That's great. I'm not one of those people that's easily deterred.
It was a command performance.
This Chris and who was the other one?
Miguel.
There were some other people. Miguel was,
Right.
oh yeah, and you saw what happened to Miguel, Chris. You better learn your lesson, okay? Miguel was bitching about I'm playing that too much, and look what happened to him. He got the old shiv right in the back. Shiv, that's S-H-I-V. 944 votes on the poll, man. We got that 1,000, I think, made in the shade. You notice how I'm like backing away a little bit?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because we still need 56 more. I don't want these people to start getting complacent.
We'll do it.
Oh, man, you are just really something. Jim David, no relation to Mo Howard David, or Larry David, or Curly, or any of those other Davids, or Ted David from CNBC. On Smirking Chimp writes, the gay squirm factor. He says, one of my favorite jokes, a Jewish guy is talking to a Gentile and says, nobody cares about the Jews anymore. Nobody cares about the Jews. Last night I dreamed Adolf Hitler killed 6 million Jews and 2 rodeo clowns. The Gentile says, why did he kill 2 rodeo clowns? The Jewish guy says, see, nobody cares about the Jews. I just returned from Denmark and Sweden, where nobody cares about the gays. In Denmark, gay marriage is legal, and in Sweden it might as well be. Most of Western Europe and Canada are the same, with full marriage equality or at least equivalent rights. Straight people leave gays alone and let them live their lives. And except for the requisite pockets of religious fanaticism, nobody cares. Either they're more enlightened, not poisoned by religion, or just drunk most of the time, but nobody cares about the gays. Maybe because they're small countries, they don't have to deal with that lovely region known as the rest of the country. In America, the spectacle of uncomfortable straights tiptoeing around gays is in full squirm. The HRC Logo Democratic Forum showed the candidates gamely trying not to run screaming into the night. Hillary was at her pre-recorded best trying to justify her husband's crippling Defense of Marriage Act and Don't Ask, Don't Tell, 2 laws passed to appease said uncomfortable straights. Obama danced around the reasons why black churches are so anti-gay. If he had just said, the brothers don't like the Moes, it would have been honest. Melissa Etheridge, dubbed by George Step on Top of Us as the new Ted Koppel, helped John Edwards' continuous gift of free publicity to Ann Coulter, denied that he ever said he was uncomfortable around those people, and reassure us that he's comfortable now and just as cute as ever. Then she asked Bill Richardson, who once used the word maricon on the Don Imus show, if being gay was a choice. He sputtered, it's a choice, before going into complete holy effing Schmidt, let me backpedal mode. I had to be
nice recovery.
Too many, I had to be real cautious with that. He might as well have said, bear with me, the only reason I'm here is so you Metacones will support me. I'm Latino, for God's sake. The only way he weaseled out of it was to congratulate Melissa on her Oscar. Only Dennis Kucinich and Mike Gravel endorsed marriage equality, easy to do when you don't have a chance in hell. The others gave convoluted answers, not having the nerve to say, look, it would be okay with me, kind of, sort of, but there's no way I'm going to get elected if I support it. I'll pass the buck so your marriages can vary from state to state, like cell phone service. Republicans might have agreed to the forum if it had been held in a giant closet. Matt Barber of Concerned Women for America went ballistic, writing, it's shameful that our nation's moral standards have nosedived to the point where now it's considered good and tolerant to hold a debate organized entirely around the promotion of sexual immorality. The head of the CWA is Beverly LaHaye, wife of Left Behind author Tim LaHaye. Their son Lee is by most accounts gay. One can only imagine the squirm factor in that office. The head of the Young Republicans was just caught yanking a buddy in the dead of the night, and all traces of his existence were yanked from the website. Representative Bob Allen, Republican of Florida, offered an undercover cop $20 for oral sex and then squirmed out of it, blaming it on his fear of blacks in the park. So that's why I feel like doing somebody every time I walk through Harlem. The mayor of Fort Lauderdale, Gaytown, USA, made enough anti-gay comments to force possible recall election. Meanwhile, the new Florida governor denies that he's gay while everyone begs to differ.
Gay.
Hey, Charlie.
You fairy.
San Diego firefighters scream and holler because they had to be in the horrible gay pride parade and people made suggestive comments to them. What a bunch of faggots. In entertainment, the screaming continues apace. I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry, South Park and Little Bush, crank out every gay stereotype in the book for cheap yucks, and then make half-assed statements about tolerance, not to mention the thought of Adam Sandler and Kevin James having sex, which makes gays squirm. Well, they're trying, but still too many people are just grossed out by it all and don't want to say it. It's enough to make you want to move to Scandinavia, where nobody cares about the gays. If it just wasn't so freaking cold, and the American dollar was better, and I wouldn't go broke having an entree, says Jim David. One of my friends here just came back from Stockholm. He said it was wonderful. I was there years ago. Very expensive.
Yeah.
Unfriendly people, beautiful people, unfriendly, cold, drunk. 951 votes on the poll. We need 49 votes to get to that 1,000. If you want to block all the South Florida sports writers from any future appearances on QAM, if we get to 1,000 votes today, damn them if they have the audacity to ever show up again. You think they will?
Yes.
Even that idiot Alex Marvez, and even that Ethan Skolnik that sounds like a 10-year-old school kid trying to be a broadcaster.
Well, Kenny, let me tell you this. The Dolphins really have a chance this year. They got a shot, Kenny.
And Kenny just salivating over Alex Marvez. I mean, what does Alex Marvez look like? Have either of you seen him?
No. He's got a mullet. What else do you need to know?
Yeah.
What's his haircut like?
Rectum.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Well, maybe Kenny's got a thing for mullets. I don't know.
You remember when Orlando had a mullet?
No.
Oh, well, all right. Picture Orlando with a mullet.
I don't ever see him. I think I've seen him twice in my life. And?
Picture Orlando with a mullet.
And that's Alex Marvez?
Pretty close.
Well, maybe that's Kenny's type. I don't know. But he wants him badly, man. I have never heard anybody in my life ever salivate so desperate. Oh, Alex, you're so wonderful. Thank you so much for being... And here the guy's getting paid. It's not like he's coming in because he's a buddy or, out of the kindness of his heart that he wants to help us out on QAM. I wouldn't be surprised if he's getting paid by the people across the street. Sabotage. I mean, what would you rather hear, Alex Marvez or dead air?
You're asking Chris, right?
I'm asking anybody.
There's
Ephraim in Baton Rouge. He says, Neil, I see. Oh, he's having a fit because he's listening online. Oh, wait, nothing we can do about that, Ephraim, okay? Ephraim in Baton Rouge. He's listening online. He's bellyaching about the spots during... nothing. What am I going to do about that? Nevertheless, I still love you, he says. Well, that's sweet. We love you too, Ephraim, but quit complaining. Quit bellyaching, all right? Pretty soon you'll qualify to be in South Florida if you bellyache too much. Be like me. Don't complain.
Yeah.
958 votes on the poll. Your favorite Jewish comedian of all time. How's Sammy Davis Jr. doing? Did you put him on there?
Of course.
He's got 2 votes, which is 2 more than Rob Reiner or Andy Samberg or Paul Reiser or Zeppo Marx or Charles Grodin or Eddie Cantor. Now, Charles Grodin, what was he infecting us with? Didn't he have a talk show once upon a time, like on MSNBC?
5 seconds.
Oh, my God. One of the most annoying, one of the most sour, one of the most negative people who ever crossed my path in my life. Charles Grodin. Annoying. Now, I've forgotten all the details because, certain things you try to put out of your mind. Like Rick Sanchez, and then he pops up on CNN again. Charles Grodin. And he's like kind of like a make-believe actor, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
He's also a comedian?
If you say so. I never would have called him that.
That's what Charlie B. said. Google Charles Grodin, because I don't think he's a comedian. I think he's an actor.
Well, he was in comedies. Does that make him a comedian?
He's what?
He was in comedy movies.
I see. Okay. All right. And he's Jewish, which, listen, everybody's got a cross to bear.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we also had Meyer Lansky, although he was admired by the little old ladies on the beach. They loved him. Oh, he's such a wonderful man. He never stole a freight train, and he walks his little dog on the beach. Meyer Lansky, baby, he was a real classy guy. Have we had enough Godfather yet?
Never. There's no such thing.
Really?
If you ask me.
But even Sonny won't be able to call up Luca Brasi.
Yeah.
Luca.
Well, let me worry about Luca.
He's still alive. They hit him with 5 shots and he's still alive.
Well, it's bad luck for me. And bad luck for you if you don't make that deal.
Tom, can you get me off the hook? For old time's sake. Can't do it, Sally. It screws up all my arrangements.
Screws up all my arrangements. That's what the florist said, when they had the hurricane. Screws up all my arrangements. Isn't that what the florist said?
Yep.
No more Godfather. Sorry, Brandon. We're taking a hiatus from the Godfather. In fact, I'll tell you what. The day we talk Godfather again will be the day I invite Alex Marvez on the show. Now, do you really believe that?
No.
961 votes on the poll, and Rodney Dangerfield is blowing the competition away.
This is Arnold. This is not a tumor. It's the 1 to 2 hour.
Tonight on Logo, the Democratic presidential candidates face off in a queen-sized election event. The gay presidential debate.
Senator Clinton, what is your message to gay voters?
I'd like to have a conversation.
So would I about those pantsuits, sister.
The candidates take on the issues that matter most to the gay community.
Senator Edwards, everybody wants to know, how much was that haircut?
I think it was about $400 or so. That seems reasonable.
It really frames your face.
Will the frontrunner stay on top, or will the challenger come from behind? Find out. Plus, immediately following the debate, stay tuned for in-depth analysis.
I liked Barack Obama. He was very cool. Call him my chocolate fudgesicle.
Oh, you. I still love Hillary, but John Edwards impressed me. I mean, he impressed me.
Now, someone's gaydar going on.
Paging Ann Coulter.
The gay debate, immediately following Queer Eye for the Red State Guy, only on Logo.
102 at 560 WQM. It's our big 1 to 2 hour. We're going to go over 1,000 votes on the poll this hour. People are going to be screaming, shrieking, carrying on, aren't they? Yeah, like that. See, already. 968, that's great. We got it made. There is no doubt. For just a second or two, I thought, it's kind of slowing down here. Here's a fax that says, quick question. Have you been to your mother's grave yet? Me neither. My sister called me Saturday night and bitched me out for that and a bunch of other crap, and all I could think was you talking about not going to your mom's funeral, etc. Thanks for helping me validate my feelings about when the body dies, that's it, etc. You're welcome. Have you been to your mother's grave yet? Well, he obviously already knew the answer because he says, me neither. Well, what is that all about? Why do people do that?
I'm going to go to my father's grave.
Yeah, and why are you going to do that?
Dig up his head, bronze it, make a urinal cake out of it.
No, seriously, why do people do that?
I can't
Why
tell
do
you.
people go and talk to dead people?
I don't know. Find out what it's like on the other side.
I just, all of these things that we're supposed to do because somebody, we don't know who the somebody was who said it, but somebody decided for us that it's a gesture of respect. To go to somebody's funeral when they're already dead and they can't. I mean, what's the point? Be nice to them when they're alive, or be friendly to them, or be helpful, whatever, while they're alive. When they're dead, what's the point? And as far as the business about visiting the tombstone, for what?
Pizza.
What about me, Chris? You going to visit my tombstone when I croak?
I don't know. You're going to be up here, down there.
I'm going to steal your head, too.
Are you? What are you going to do with it?
Bronze it, put it on a shelf. Put a plaque on, underneath it, set it on a little pedestal.
A combination of expensive health insurance and ever-increasing rate of obesity appear to be behind a startling fall by the U.S. in the world rankings of life expectancy. Talking about all these women that are living to 114 and crap like that. Despite being one of the richest countries in the world, America has dropped from number 11 to number 42 in 20 years, according to official U.S. figures. From 11th to 42nd place. Dr. Christopher Murray, head of the Institute of Health Metrics and Evaluation at the University of Wisconsin, says something's wrong here when one of the richest countries in the world, the one that spends the most on health care, is not able to keep up with other countries. The lack of health care available to many Americans, 45 million have no health insurance, is said to be one of the biggest issues next year's presidential campaign. The Democratic contenders all promise universal health care. The decline reflects the disparity in wealth. The life expectancy of African Americans is 73.3 compared to 77.9 for whites. For African American males, it's even shorter, 69.8. Jim McDermott, a Democratic congressman, said health care coverage is the single biggest domestic crisis facing America. It threatens all but the wealthiest Americans. If you aren't part of the richest 1%, then you know you are one living phone call, accident or illness away from financial ruin because of a medical crisis. Obesity is frequently cited as among the causes of lower life expectancy. Almost a third of U.S. adults are obese, according to the National Center for Health Statistics, which compared U.S. life expectancy with the rest of the world. Paul Terry, an assistant professor of epidemiology at Emory University in Atlanta, said the U.S. has got the resources that allow people to get fat and lazy. Chris.
Yes.
The drop is also due to improved healthcare, nutrition, and lifestyle elsewhere in the world. Countries with longer life expectancy include most of Europe, Japan, Singapore, and Jordan. The U.S. also has higher infant mortality rate than many other countries, 6.8 deaths for every 1,000 live births. The worst life expectancy figures are in Africa, with Swaziland at the bottom, 34 1-years. Is that John Cameron Swaziland? Remember John Cameron Swayze took a licking and kept on ticking, but now he's dead. Now, what is this? It says you may want to consider going to the reunion. You wouldn't want to miss the 50th year commemorative naked swim. Right.
Oh, yes!
Which I'm sure must be a reference to the fact that we swam naked in the gym.
Yeah, that still cracks me up.
Why?
I mean, it's so transparent. There's absolutely no call for
it's
such
so,
a thing.
Is that what you're going to say?
Absolutely.
Well, what do you mean by transparent?
Who would come up with an idea like that, except for some pedophile teacher?
Fag.
Yeah, yeah.
Why would you say something like that about my gym teacher? He's dead.
Fag, pedophile.
No, he was married with a family, so he was probably gay. Good cover-up. 975 votes. It worked for Merv Griffin. He was married about 80 times and had a kid, and then he had that Ava Gabor beard thing going on for a long time. Worked for Merv. I wonder if he and Arthur Treacher were ever doing anything, you think? Now, was it his show, that Arthur Treacher? I'm sure it was. He was the announcer on it. He was like the Ed McMahon. You might want to Google Arthur Treacher. Do they still have those places, Arthur Treacher's Fish and Chips?
They've been incorporated into Miami Subs now, so it's not what they used to be. Nothing's what it used to be.
Yeah. Well, what does that mean?
That means you can't get anything that you want anymore. You know, you used to go to Miami Subs and get a shrimp platter, and there'd be a little side Greek salad and those nice French fries and everything. And now when you order shrimp, they give you a little, shrimp box with those weak white fries and nothing, no salad, nothing. You get what Arthur Treacher's would have given you, which is crap.
What about Long John Sliver?
Same thing.
Is that still around?
I don't know.
See, I'm not a fish person, so I never would go to those places.
I know that. That's right.
Since so many people get sick from fish, mercury poisoning, things like that, all of these things. We're getting close to that 1,000, boys and girls, and then, all you sports writers, bye-bye. 979. So I guess that's the deal. Because we have this bogus affiliation with the Sun Sentinel like the other station across the street's got with the Herald. So therefore we feel compelled to suck up to their sports writers as if they're going to do anything for us, which they don't. Which they absolutely do not. If anybody can prove me wrong, I want you to fax in or email to George. I want you to send to us any column in which Alex Marvez or Dave Hyde or Ethan Skolnik has said anything, one word, has written one positive word about WQAM. You think we're going to find that, Chris?
No.
Nothing. Zero. We hand them the keys to the kingdom, and you know what they give us?
Nothing?
That's what they give us. A Zetzendraert, as they say in China. And don't buy those toys from China, and don't brush your teeth with that toothpaste. As a matter of fact, the Sutton Place Hotel right in Toronto, downtown, they were using a very expensive, overpriced hotel, by the way. They were using a Chinese toothpaste. It was announced here this morning on the news.
Nice.
So just because you're staying in an expensive hotel that's overpriced and, artsy-fartsy and hoity-toity, that doesn't mean that you're going to wind up coming out of there alive. Because they're gonna load you up with some Chinese toothpaste. I'd rather have bad breath. I'd rather go out and buy some Clorets. Ever chew Clorets?
Chew Clorets? They have the chewable ones?
Gum.
No. I know.
No, you're talking about Clorets spray.
Yeah, the spray, sure.
And then the lozenges that you suck on. 979 on the poll. We're going to get to 1,000 in this half hour. And then you watch. Then Joel Feinberg, you're going to see him sitting out in the middle of traffic on 441 with his hand in his head in his hands, crying like a baby. Oh, first it was Wayne, and now that fag is back on. Cry baby, Joel. The dolphin organization doesn't care about your business, okay, and neither does anybody else. Nobody with a brain does. Ersatz, that's the word, make-believe. Just like Dan LeBaster with all his make-believe MySpace friends, and make-believe this, and the make-believe Hank Goldberg, and make-believe Stu Gatz, and that's the whole thing over there, make-believe. They ought to have Conway Twitty come there and sing the farewell song, if he were only still alive. See, that's the way I look at the reunion. I mean, these people aren't dead yet, but we're getting pretty close, getting close to the end of the line, you know? So why would you want to go and see 50 years later what people look like just before they're going to die?
Like I said, only if they were friends of yours. And I mean friends, not people you knew.
Yeah. Well, they weren't.
Well, then.
I mean, like school
why
friends,
bother?
you know, like school buddies,
Well,
but not like socialize, because I couldn't socialize because I wasn't allowed to socialize with a goyim, and all the kids in school were goyim.
Their loss.
Yeah, that's right. Look what they missed out on. 12 minutes after, I'm thinking to myself what I missed out on. 12 minutes after 1 at QAM Week.
You know that the Lord even loves Neil Rogers.
Coming soon to retail stores everywhere, a new toy line that is heavenly sent. Introducing Jesus and the Bible Buddies. Jesus and the Bible Buddies are sturdy, tough action figures that let you live out your favorite moments from the Old and New Testaments. Old Testament favorites include John the Baptist, now with removable head. Moses, complete with stone tablets and burning bush stand-up kit.
I've got the law of God in the palm of my hands.
And don't forget the new Cain and Abel double pack.
Cool, they're brothers.
Then get set for all the adventures of the New Testament with a complete line of Jesus action figures. There's Breaking the Bread Jesus, complete with bread and wine substitute.
Take and eat. This is my body of the new covenant, which is given unto
Risen
you.
from the dead Jesus, with a glow-in-the-dark resurrection cape.
I've defeated Satan.
And new this fall, it's Pull My String Jesus. Listen as our Lord and Savior recites well-known Bible passages.
It is finished.
Cool. It's like I'm right next to the cross.
It's Jesus and the Bible Buddies. Collect them separately or get them in the Apostle 12-pack. Salvation not included.
Okay, 117 and 560 WQAM. Oh, I want salvation. Then you can come visit me in my grave, and we can have a chat.
All right.
Yeah. Of course, I'll sound kind of like that, you know, a little muffled in that box. Maybe you could, like, drill some air holes.
Or
some a-holes?
Sure.
Oh, no.
Or
and
glory.
Look at that.
It's what has caused our inability to...
See, that sounds very insensitive because they're showing the mine rescue news conference on there now.
Uh-huh.
And they're drilling these holes, and it's taken them forever to drill the holes, but in the meantime, how many days has it been now, like 8 or 9?
Yeah, it's a sad situation.
What you're trying to say is muerto?
I don't want to say any such thing.
Well, look at that. Don't tell me the market stayed another dime today. Thank God I don't have one dime in the market. All you smart asses. Oh, we're going to show you, Neil. The market's up to 13,000. Yeah. Good luck to you. Look at that. The Dow's down 128 points again today, and it's just one of those things, you know. And the dollar ain't worth. You can't even buy a soda anymore for $1. Am I right?
Right.
And you go to the airport, and let me give you a little advice. Don't go to the airport. If you want to fly somewhere, have a good time, but don't go to the airport. Not in South Florida. Fort Lauderdale is impossible, and Miami International is beyond impossible. The security there, they'll kill you. 990 votes. This segment, we're going over 1,000, and then goodbye. In fact, I can hear Chicken Neck working on it right now. Bye-bye, Alex Marvez. Can you hear it? Bye-bye, Ethan Skolnik.
I hear it now.
Maybe we can have like a whole series of them. Still no sign of the miners 8 days after the collapse, and there's that fat turd guy who keeps, pacing nervously. What's his name? Why are they doing this? Why do we hear the sound of whatever they're digging and drilling? Hello? Better watch your language on there. You're live on CNN, mister. You better watch it. It sounds like a bunch of rednecks there. Now, where's that? That's in Utah, right?
Yes.
What kind of people are in Utah besides
Mormons.
Are there any people besides Mormons in Utah or what?
There are some others.
But not too many.
No.
Not if they know what's good for them?
Right.
Paul Krugman writes, it's all about them. He said, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your father's political campaign. Last week at one of Mitt Romney's Ask Mitt forums, a woman in the audience asked Mr. Romney whether any of his 5 sons are serving in the military, and if not, when they plan to enlist. The candidate replied with a rambling attempt to change the subject, but near the end he let his real feelings slip. It's remarkable how we can show our support for our nation, he said, and one of the ways my sons are showing support for our nation is helping to get me elected because they think I'd be a great president. Wow. The important point isn't the fact that Mr. Romney's sons aren't in uniform, although it is striking just how few of those who claim to believe that we're engaged in the struggle for our very existence think that they themselves should be called on to make any sacrifices. The point is instead that Mr. Romney apparently considers helping him get elected in active service comparable to putting your life on the line in Iraq. Yet the week's prize for most self-centered remark by a serious presidential contender goes not to Mr. Romney, but to his principal rival for the GOP nomination. Rudy Giuliani has lately been getting some long-overdue criticism for his missteps both before and after 9/11. For example, the Village Voice reports that he insisted that the city's emergency command center, which included a personal suite with its own elevator that he visited often even on weekends, bringing his girlfriend Judy Nathan there long before the relationship surfaced, be within walking distance of City Hall. This led to the disastrous decision to locate the center in the World Trade Center, an obvious potential terrorist target. At the same time, Mr. Giuliani is being attacked for his failure to take adequate precautions to protect those who worked on the cleanup at Ground Zero from the hazards at the site. Many workers have since been sickened by the dust and toxic materials. For a politician whose entire campaign is based on the myth of his leadership that fateful day, as The Onion put it, Mr. Giuliani is running for president of 9/11. Anything that challenges his personal legend is a big problem. So here's what Giuliani said last week in response. I was at Ground Zero as often, if not more, than most of the workers. I was exposed to exactly the same things they were exposed to, so in that sense, I'm one of them. Real Ground Zero workers who were digging through the toxic rubble while Mr. Giuliani held photo ops were understandably outraged. So the next day, Giuliani tried to recover, claiming, what I was trying to say yesterday is that I empathize with them because I feel I have that same risk. But thanks to the wonders of YouTube, we can all watch Giuliani's actual demeanor as he delivered the original remarks. Empathy had nothing to do with it. What's striking about these unintentional moments of self-revelation is how much Giuliani and Romney sound like the current occupant of the White House. It's been long clear that President Bush doesn't feel other people's pain. His self-centeredness shines through whenever he makes the off-the-cuff unscripted remarks, from his jocular obliviousness in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina to the joke he made last year in San Antonio when he visited the Brooke Army Medical Center, which treats the severely wounded. As you can possibly see, I have an injury myself, not here at the hospital, but in combat with a cedar I eventually won. The cedar gave me a little scratch, he said. What's now clear is that the two men most likely to end up as the GOP presidential nominee are cut from the same cloth. This probably isn't a coincidence. Arguably, the current state of the Republican Party is such that only extreme narcissists have a chance of getting nominated. To be a serious presidential contender, after all, you have to be a fairly smart guy, and nobody's accused either Romney or Giuliani of being stupid. To appeal to the GOP base, however, you have to say very stupid things like Romney's declaration that we should double Gitmo, or Giuliani's dismissal of the idea that raising taxes is sometimes necessary to pay for things like repairing bridges is a democratic liberal assumption. So the GOP field is dominated by smart men willing to play dumb to further their personal ambitions. We shouldn't be surprised then to learn that these men are monstrously self-centered. All of which leaves us with a political question. Most voters are thoroughly fed up with the current narcissist in chief. Are they really ready to elect another one? And let's hope the answer is no. Paul Krugman in the Times. And you heard it here at no charge. Oh, geez, reading the newspaper again. Oh, my God, Neil, what happened to those olden days, those great old shows? Those great calls. I just wonder. I look at that phone. I don't see any lines ringing. I was thinking,
Yeah.
I didn't say I was going to take it.
Oh, okay.
I said I was thinking. I actually have the thing turned on now. 997. Now, before this next break, we better get those other 3 votes to get to 1,000 by the bottom of the hour, and then after that, it'll be like frosting on the cake. It'll be like the gravy train. Ever eat gravy train?
No, Purina Dog Chow, that was my brand.
Alpo always seemed rather interesting to me, until I found out what it was made from.
I like the dry myself.
Diseased animal parts, stuff like that. What do you think, Chris? Can we do it by the time we do the last break this half hour, or what?
Yes.
998, that's kind of great. Merv Griffin is dead, by the way. The Scooter is dead. Phil Rizzuto died. Oh, my God. And what was the big, she died yesterday? Astor. What was her name? I forget what her name was. I would have asked her, but she's dead.
Cast her into the sea. I don't know.
Astor. She was the big socialite. She gave $200 million to charity because she inherited zillions of dollars. Whatever her name was. I don't put her in the same category with Merv, and certainly not with a scooter. Are you kidding me? Holy cow. Holy cow. See, the Yankee organization back from the days in the early 60s when they had Mel Allen, Red Barber, and Jim Woods, when they had maybe the greatest baseball broadcast team ever assembled in history, and then we go to the Scooter and Jerry Coleman and Bill White and a bunch of other, and then of course the John Sterling, who's crazier than a bedbug. Yankees. Anybody else did that on here, they would come, the men in white coats would come and drag him away. He's a crazy person. They hate in the middle of... What? You know John Sterling?
Oh, no. I'm just saying 1,002.
1,002 votes. Attaboy, Chris. He's got his iPad field on because he knows he's responsible for it.
Exactly.
He's the one that put us over the edge today. So now that we got it, it's not even 1:30 yet. To me, that's like the whole audience getting together, like Howard Beard, opening the window up and screaming out the window, "No more sports writers on QAM." That's what they're screaming.
So do I go in this break? Do I go and tell Josh he's not allowed to have them on anymore?
Tell him no more. No more Alex Marvez, no more Ethan Skolnik, no Menashe Skolnik, and certainly no more Beast.
Britney Spears has reportedly had another breakdown while filming a video in Los Angeles. Witnesses said she appeared disoriented and erratic during the shoot for her new single, Get Back. Onlookers also said she made several trips to the bathroom, but maybe it's not what you think.
Hi, welcome to Starbucks. May I take your order?
Yeah, hello. Can I get a grande frappuccino?
Are you Britney Spears?
Yeah.
What's that in the front of your pants?
Oops.
Feed herself again. Like a leaky pen, she needs a depend.
Then, Mommy, I want to have a pretzel. All right, Sean. And I want to have a big cola. Oh, don't say that. What's that on your pants? Oops.
Feed herself again. Like a water jet. Britney soaking wet.
Hey, yo, Brittany, I want to have the kids this weekend.
You can't have the kids. The Kevin's on the line.
Brittany, I'm responsible. I don't go drinking anymore.
I don't say that.
Oh, Brittany, what's that on the front of your pants?
Oops.
Feed herself again. Like Niagara Falls. Can't make it to stalls.
Yeah, it's a plumber. I'm here to fix your problem there. Who are you?
I'm pop star Britney Spears.
Yeah, apparently you got some leaky plumbing.
Oh, jeez, don't say that.
Oh, jeez, I didn't know that's where it was.
Oops.
Feed herself again. Hey, what's the matter with Britney's bladder?
Come on, let's go get guys. Yes, let's get guys. I'm really horny.
Yeah, Britney, you look so hot.
Yeah.
Except for that.
What?
Why are you wearing a tank top and a diaper?
Isn't it hot?
Oh, whatever, I don't care. I just want to drink wine coolers till I pass out. How about you?
Oh, don't say that.
Why?
Oops.
Feed herself again. Just like a rainstorm. Her panty is warm.
So is she having a peeing problem or what? I hadn't heard that because I don't pay any attention. I couldn't care less.
Apparently, yeah.
Oh, jeez. 132 at 560 WQM. These are the important things. Here's the poll. We got 1,010 votes. 10-10, as in 10-10 wins New York and 10-10 CFR beat Toronto. Eh? Who's your favorite Jewish comedian of all time? I'm only going to read like a couple. Rodney Dangerfield, 195. Mel Brooks, 122. Nobody else even close to 100. Jerry Seinfeld is still third. I mean, I'm not going to say it. Well, what's the use? Why do I? And Uncle Milty's only got 12. Milton Berle, 12 votes. Does that tell you everything we need to know? Jack Benny's got 27. Jerry Lewis has got 10. He's tied with Sarah Silverman. Mo Howard. See, I'm tempted. I always want to say Mo Howard David did. Mo Howard, 9. As opposed to Curly, who's got 54. And Shemp has got 4. Now, who are we leaving out? Aren't we leaving somebody out from the Three Stooges? Larry, Mo, and Curly. Larry.
And Shemp. And there was that Joe there for 5 minutes, and I don't even know if he was Jewish, but he's not worthy.
Joe Mama? No. Gene Wilder's only got 3. Carl Reiner finally got 3. Ed Wynn got 2, sympathy vote, because I was bitching about that. Al Jolson had 2, Mammy, how I love you. Rita Rudner 1. Gummo's got 1. And Chico's got 1. See, that's what I don't understand. Anybody that, well, it's only 1 vote. Rob Reiner has got none. Paul Reiser, none. Zeppo Marx, none. Andy Samberg,
Reiser.
none. What?
Paul
Robert
Reiser.
Bobby Reiser? Zeppo Marx, none. Charles Grodin, none. Eddie Cantor, 0. If you knew Susie, Eddie and Ida Cantor, man, they were on TV in the early days. He had those big bulging eyes, you know, like a bufo toad, like a bullfrog. Eddie Cantor. Was he a talent or what?
No.
But he was from the vaudeville days. See, in the early days of television, they had to bring on all these vaudeville people and radio people. And then they had this dearth of talent, kind of like what we have in radio now in South Florida. A dearth of talent. A lot of crap. A lot of swill. It just breaks my heart. It's enough to make a grown man want to cry, you know. But then payday comes and I think, well, that ain't so bad, you know. Except when the check don't show up. It did show up early this time. Nice going, fat-ass Jolly Joe, baby. Keep those checks coming. You still keep hiring all your buddies there from Raleigh. That's all right. 10:18. Only don't fire any more of our friends, okay? Fire somebody from one of the other shows so you can bring your buddies in. Is the sales department on vacation all summer or what, other than Duff? He's the only one. He was in this morning before the show. And I said, hey, Duff.
You fairy.
And he turned around and ran out. But he came in. Big Brian there, Brian Schmutz, is he still working there?
Yeah.
I mean, is he still there? Is he still collecting it? I shouldn't have, I said working, you know. Read the Heat games?
No.
So what does that have to do with our revenue?
Well, we had that extended Heat coverage and, you know, around the clock, you know.
No, that's not what the article said. It said
I
because we didn't have any Heat games to broadcast because they didn't make the playoffs, and that's the reason that the revenue was down. We don't carry the Miami Heat on this station. They're on WIOD, okay? We don't have the Heat. We got the Dolphins, and we got the Hurricanes, and WIOD's got the Heat.
WIOD? Oh, I hate that station.
Well, what can I tell you? Is Disney still over there or what? Is he still got
I
a
don't
big
know.
red nose like W.C. Fields? And what about your close personal friend Cheryl?
I don't know.
You'll never guess who I had a call from the other day. I was sitting here minding my own business.
Rimmer.
Yeah, good guess. Like I
Wow.
said, you'll never guess.
Poor guy.
Rimmer.
What do I win?
The best thing that ever happened to me is that he had a triple bypass because he wasn't asking for any free meal. Oh, we're in Toronto now, but for the weekend, whatever, you know, visiting their son. But didn't, and didn't want any of my time because obviously he can't eat any free meals because he had that triple bypass. So he's on a real strict diet now. So he survived. He's doing just fine. He's still alive. He still hates Denise Podvan like poison and the Panther organization. And he called. It was all right. It was short enough of a call, you know what I mean? Don't call me anymore, Rimmer, for a few months. Wasn't that good, though, that he had that triple bypass, so now he can't be eating those big gut-wrenching steaks at Ruth Chris and costing me a lot of money?
Yeah, that's good.
What I discovered was my cabbie, my lesbianese terrorist cab driver, was taking me somewhere where we were putting all that stuff together for the very expensive and traumatic birthday party I threw for my friend. And I noticed in the Hyatt Hotel here, there's a gigantic Morton's Steakhouse. Now, have you ever eaten at Morton's?
Yes.
Because our mutual friend, the professor, told me that Morton's was better than Ruth Chris. Now, I forget what you told me about. I know we had this discussion a million times. And what's your analyzation of it?
I don't know. I like Ruth Chris better.
You don't know?
Ruth Chris better.
I'll tell you one thing. The Ruth Chris here in the Hilton Hotel. Which hotel did I say? The Morton's is in the Hyatt. But Ruth Chris is in the Hilton Hotel here downtown, and man, it is, because they're not all the same. They're definitely not all the same. I've eaten in the ones in Vegas. They're both great. There are two of them. At least there used to be. And the one here is just unbelievable. I haven't had a piece of meat in my mouth like that in, well, speaking of that reunion, see, that's another thing. The reunion makes me very sad because it makes me think of all the opportunities, the missed opportunities back in those days when I was cowering in the closet. Oh, you don't want to associate with those goyim, you know. What kind of an upbringing was that, you know? To schlep me to a town when all the people there were goyim and you don't want to socialize with them. So in other words, you socialize with yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Happens all the time.
Not good. So all you Jews out there, don't move to some, don't schlep your kids to some little town where there's all goyim, and then tell them you can't associate with the goyim. Because they're going to be antisocial, they're going to be boorish as all hell, and they're going to have a personality like a dead man, like me. 20 till 2 at QAM. What are we going to do about Brian Schmutz? Are we going to maybe we can get a package deal for Chris, because he's already going to cook clearance. I forget who else I told you to kill this morning, but certainly Brian Schmutz has got to be on the list.
It was just salesman, I think.
The whole sales department? All right.
Bill? God?
The Honorable Mayor of Fort Lauderdale, Jim Noggle.
Thank you. As part of my crusade to eliminate the gay community to make my world safer for Jesus, I'm pleased to be here today for the unveiling of our new robotic toilet. I give you the Robotronic KY69 toilet stall. It is my privilege to be the first one to christen it. If you'll excuse me. Oh, this is nice. Not a homo inside.
Welcome to the KY69 toilet facility.
Who are you?
I am Cesar, your robot valet. Allow me to assist you.
I don't need any help, thanks. I know how to use the toilet.
You have 2 seconds to remove your pants.
What? Hey!
Sit down, please. Would you like the sports page?
No!
The sports page is essential for a healthy male dump. You have 2 seconds to dump. I did not hear a noise.
I can't.
This indicates constipation. Bend over, please. Initiating voice-very enema. Initiating polyps probe. Sit back down. Have a pink cigar.
And by the way, if it comes from China, throw it down the toilet. Just in general, whatever it might be.
Right.
147 at 560 WQAM. It's Woodbine Tuesday. Shocked you, didn't I?
A little bit, yeah.
Why is that?
Because it's usually Wednesday.
Well, it's Woodbine Tuesday. Why the hell would I want to go on a Wednesday? Maybe I'll find me a good machine man. Or maybe there'll be another bag leader there to win a big jackpot. If you could have seen the shrine and the carrying on that was going on when that old bag won $100,000, I mean, what are you going to do? What does it have to do with me? Why should I care? Do I care? I mean, sure, I would like to have had it myself. Why should I get all whipped up into a frenzy?
Good point.
Why is it that there's so many adults who are like little children? Like Joel Feinberg, for example. Always crying, belly aching. With large swaths of the Gulf Coast still in ruins from Hurricane Katrina. This article will piss you off. Rich federal tax breaks designed to spur rebuilding are flowing hundreds of miles inland to investors who are buying up luxury condos near the University of Alabama's football stadium. About 10 condominium projects are going up in and around Tuscaloosa, and builders are asking up to $1 million for units with granite countertops, king-size bathtubs, and Bama decor, including crimson couches and Bear Bryant wall art. While many of the buyers are Crimson Tide alumni or ardent football fans not entitled to any special Katrina-related tax breaks, many others are real estate investors who are purchasing the condos with plans to rent them out. And they intend to fully take advantage of the generous tax benefits available to investors under the Gulf Opportunity Zone Act of 2005, or GO Zone. The GO Zone contains a variety of tax breaks designed to stimulate construction in Mississippi, Louisiana, and Alabama. It offers tax-free bonds to developers to finance big commercial projects like shopping centers, hotels, etc. It also allows real estate investors who buy condos or other properties in the GO Zone to take accelerated depreciation on their purchases when they file their taxes. The GO Zone was drawn to include the Tuscaloosa area, even though it's about 200 miles from the coast and got only heavy rain and scattered wind damage from Katrina. The condo deals are perfectly legal, and the tax breaks don't take money away from Katrina victims closer to the coast because the depreciation is wide open with no limits per state. But the tax breaks are galling to some community leaders, especially when red tape and disorganization have stymied the rebuilding in some of the devastated coastal areas. The go zone extends so damn far, but the people who really need the help most can't take advantage of it, said John Herald, a lawyer in Hard-Hit Gulfport, Mississippi. It's a joke, said Tuscaloosa developer Stan Pate, who has nevertheless used go zone tax breaks on projects that include a new hotel and a restaurant. It was supposed to be about getting people to put housing in New Orleans, Louisiana, or Biloxi, Mississippi. It wasn't about condos in Tuscaloosa. Locals say Tuscaloosa was included in the go zone through the efforts of Republican Senator Richard Shelby, who's from Tuscaloosa, graduated from Alabama, and sits on the powerful Appropriations Committee. Bada beep, bada boop, bada bop. So there you go, your government in action again. And you know what they say?
What do they say?
About George W. I don't know. Here it is.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Or white people either.
Right,
or
any
poor
people, yeah.
people. Anybody that isn't one of his,
Ilk,
ass lickers, things like that. All of these things. 1028, that's great. 1028. Almost everybody's got at least one vote. Favorite Jewish comedian of all time? Adam Sandberg, Paul Reiser, Bobby Reeser, Seppo Marx, Charles Grodin, the unctuous one, and Eddie Cantor have none. Out of 1034 now. They still have none. Isn't that a real shot when you can't get one vote out of over 1,000? Even you would feel bad if we had like a poll saying, who's your favorite talk personality on QAM? And you didn't get one vote? Wouldn't you feel like crap?
No.
Yeah, you would.
It wouldn't
Why
happen.
do you... Huh?
It wouldn't happen, but no.
No, it would not happen. That's what I'm trying to say to you. Of course, there's 8 million names on here. Now, maybe some people like Paul Reiser. They just can't pronounce his name, you know. Or maybe some people like me haven't got any idea who the hell he is. Am I supposed to know who he is?
No, only if you go to comedy movies in the past, 50 years.
And what was he in?
Oh, this one and that one? I said 50 years. I mean, he hasn't been big in a while. He's already old.
Yeah. I haven't been big in a while either. I bet you don't know about this story. In fact, I bet you almost nobody knows about it because it's one of the best kept secrets going and probably nothing's going to happen. A general strike is proposed for the U.S. on September 11th this year, the 6th anniversary of 9/11 attacks. The general strike movement has no clearly named leadership. It's described as an internet viral effort. General strikes, more common in Europe, are events that shut down the normal operations of a city, state, or nation for a period of time. These strikes aim to force awareness and action on a single issue or broader set of concerns. The 9/11 general strike has a central location, www.strike911.org, on the Internet, which is linked to and reproduced on a variety of other Internet sites. The site states the rationale for the effort. The general strike is a national call to action from citizens to other citizens. It's not about a single issue. It's not an anti-war protest, a civil rights protest, an election fraud protest. It's not about torture. It's not about surveillance, corporate media, the 9/11 cover-up, or the environment. The strike is about all of these issues and more.
All of these things.
We all have different concerns, but we all have the same concern. We are being lied to, and this government doesn't represent us. Join other Americans in demanding truth, justice, and accountability. This is our country and our world, and we have to stand up. A national call to action, Tuesday, September 11, 2007. No school, no work, buy nothing, hit the streets. Should we probably put a link to that on our NeilRogers.com?
If you want.
www.strike911.org. I'm just mentioning that in passing. I don't want to make a lot of work for like Eric or anybody like that, or certainly not for Josh Cordes, because he's got enough work on his hands just getting his Russian girlfriend back.
Rock solid. It's Dave in Miami town at 560 WQAM. All right. Sports. 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 Sports.
I like reading the sports section.
I like reading the sports section, too.
The paper's better than using a computer. You can read the paper on the toilet.
Yeah, I don't like computers, because what's that got to do with sports?
Sports.
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 We got a girl in here.
Yeah, a girl.
Hello.
See? We're straight. That's a girl.
Girls are okay, but I'd rather stare blankly ahead and just talk about sports.
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 Sports. Kinda hard to believe we're losing the morning show. I mean, like, there just gotta be somebody out there that just wants to hear about nothing but sports.
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 Sports. What do you think the new morning show is going to be about?
Sports.
Sports. Sports. Sports. Sports. Sports. Sports. Sports. Sports. Sports. Sports. Sports. Sports. Sports.
Sports.
Bye, bye, bye.